Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby opens the regular meeting of council at 6 p.m. on July 16, 2025.
All those in favor? Carried. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Atikabiksning Anishinaabe. We also wish to recognize our neighboring community of Doki's First Nation. While we meet today, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous people and their culture. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council held July 16, 2025 be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Carried. Disclosure of peculiar interest.
None, your worship.
Councillor Loftus.
None, your worship.
Councillor Paté.
None, your worship.
Councillor Lachance.
None, your worship.
And none for myself. Okay, today we're going to start with a presentation from Descon Construction and Harriman and Associates. We have Keith and David that are going to be handling the presentation. And it's not on the screens, but just so you're aware, we have the presentation on our computers.
I'm good.
Go ahead. Yes.
Thank you very much for taking time. This is a hot day, so I'll speak fast so we can get out of here. Back in the spring, council requested that I proceed with doing the housing needs analysis to try to determine if there is in fact a need for senior housing in the community. So you have a copy of my report. In support of the report, back several years ago, there was an aging community a report that identified the need for housing. You just finished a strategic plan recently that identified need for senior housing in the community, and my report goes along to support that same analysis. We did have a public meeting with the senior community. There was an excellent turnout. We did send out surveys to the community. We got a reasonably good response from that, and the same as the kind of response we're getting in all of the communities. My report basically talks about, there is a need for it, and for recommending that we look at possibly, if council wants to proceed, to do something in the order of around 10 units. So the purpose of the meeting tonight is to, if there's any questions about the report, I don't want to go through the whole report again, but if there's any questions that anybody has about the report, or if they want to, we have copies of potential, what a 10 unit could look like, a financial pro forma, we could talk about that. Or if council, the next step for council, if they want to proceed, obviously is to formalize the agreement and for us to start preparing some more formal documents that would show the cost, the actual costing, and once we identify a property. So are there any questions from council about the report, or?
Okay. Any questions?
You do mention about the, that you attended the luncheon meeting.
Yes.
And there was a survey handed in a newsletter. In your report, it says in a newsletter in the community. I haven't seen that survey. And I'd like to know, like, what exactly was on that survey and details of the information that was gathered.
So the survey was sent out to everybody in the community, I believe?
Yeah, I could forward sorry.
I just, because I'm not sure when it was.
So the survey was given out at that senior housing meeting, and it was sent out, gathered through the mail or through the community to everybody to respond to it. And basically the survey was trying to gauge the interest from the community to see how many people, are interested in housing projects similar to what they're doing in French River, and with a range of rents, potential rents, and to see if they are interested, is it immediate, is it within 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. So based on the response, that the contents of my report was, for the most part, based on the kind of response I was getting back from some of the people in the community and talking to others about what the need is.
Okay, so who you guys were in charge of the survey, or
Yes.
was it, okay, cause I honestly don't recall seeing that survey
Oh, okay.
anywhere, like,
Oh,
I questioned it, I contacted the library newsletter just to make sure maybe it was in there,
oh.
there was nothing,
I honestly can't remember if it was put in the library newsletter, Denise, do you know where they're,
I looked in
how
my
it was
tax.
circulated, or,
It was circulated at the seniors,
Yeah.
and then on our website, there was a notice for
So
the,
I even checked on the website, and I couldn't see it.
oh,
I know that I personally brought
Like
some,
I saw the survey for the strategic planning,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking
No.
about,
no.
I brought some to the health center here,
yeah.
to the, and, to the pharmacy. So I know that those two locations, I did bring a little stack of surveys at one point,
Yeah.
but other than that,
Surveys are one way of gauging the community interest. Typically, a lot of people are reluctant to fill out a survey. We usually get based on your population, you have about a 38% of the population is in the senior category. And the type of response we got back was around 5% of that. And that's the normal kind of response we get back in the survey. People don't want to fill out a survey because there's information about, their finances, the range they're in, what they can afford, without putting their name down, without even a commitment. But people are reluctant to submit a survey because I want to see if it's really going to happen, or,
Well, I think this is a big deal, right? If I would've known, maybe I would've pushed it more,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, well, it's not to say that we still want community input. If council decides that they want to proceed with something, we still want to, the goal is that if council decides that they want to build 10 units, we want to make sure the 10 are filled, obviously.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, so, I mean, we had a huge public input in the French River, a couple of meetings we had, and we had well over 100 people fill out the form saying, yeah, we want in, and it's ready for occupancy September the 1st, and they're having some challenges getting some of the seniors, so they're advertising in Sudbury, and for the life of me, I can't understand where did all these seniors,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
we're trying to analyze that, trying to figure, and there's 30 units, mind you, so that's why we're trying to be conservative here, thinking 10 is probably somewhat realistic.
yeah, and that's why I'm questioning the survey, right? I would like to see what they
Yeah.
stated and what exactly the question.
Now, I know the results of this survey, Denise has put it on your computer, because I guess it was Tammy who sent me the,
I don't
the
have
results
the
of the-
results.
No, I Denny and Joanne.
I didn't see the results.
okay,
I will send the PDF, got
sure.
it right now.
So it's sort of the next phase of all of this is to start to, without a serious commitment, if council wants to proceed with doing this, we need to be able to identify the land that we can build in the same. And my recommendation is it should be around 10. It's entirely up to council to decide,
Mhm.
so.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Any more questions? No. Council Loftus, any questions on your part?
No, I just think that, there is a need, but it's just to get that magic number of
Yeah.
how many units we actually need in the community.
I agree. That's very critical.
Yeah.
Okay. Councilor Putzi?
Just looking, so obviously, like, we'll get more information with the survey, but was there kind of some questions around where location would be preferred? Because obviously,
No,
not really, eh?
no,
Because I'm thinking, obviously, for advertising more towards senior, there's a couple different takes on it. Is maybe they'd like to be close to water, because then they can have grandkids over or something like that. Or maybe they'd rather be close to town where they have access to the facilities that they would need, right? So there's a couple different
yeah.
takes on that, right? Which opens up the different possibilities of what would be possible in terms of available land.
The structure of these, and those are good points, the structure of this thing is that it's to be a municipal nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
So all the money that's, the rent, everything else has to pay the expenses, so we're trying to keep the cost down as low as possible. So we're trying, and to make life for the seniors, and in my point of view is that it makes sense to have it as close to the downtown or the medical center and shopping as much as possible. 'Cause,
Yeah.
And so the reason we didn't put any locations in the report at all or in the survey is that that's one of the challenges we have is
Yeah.
trying to find something. We need about if we're doing 10 units, we need about 2 acres to accommodate the septic system and everything else. So,
Yeah,
you know, there is the little, we talked about this, the little parkette on the road, at the end of the road by the,
Notre Dame.
yeah.
Notre Dame.
you know, and it's
Needing
kind of
some work.
small, but if we bought property from the abutting landowner behind, we could fit something there, or there's lots of municipal land over by the arena, and
Yeah.
you can tell the boys in the Sonville Club, sorry, but my brother-in-law won't be happy with me, but
Yeah. And then were these mostly like single level? Is that
Yeah.
what the kind of point?
that's,
Yeah.
that's
have
the
to, right?
idea, is that if it's for seniors, I don't know if you had a chance to go and see what they did in French River, it's,
Unfortunately, I haven't. You know. Yeah.
so it's a slab on grade, you know, grade entrance, 1 or 2 bedrooms, little community center, common room, privacy area in the back, like a fence area, storage, you know, is as low as possible, and they're all energy efficient, and they're all geared for seniors. You know, there's no tubs, you know, all the door handles are the paddle types. You know, so makes it
Yeah.
a lot easier. So
And I know, like, it's more of a long-term investment in the community and everything. And I'm just looking at the expenses and stuff like that. Is there, like, there's no, so I see hydro common area, so the fees or and I mean, these questions might not be geared towards,
yeah.
towards you, but the fees and everything, is that, like, hydro's not included in the monthly start rates, like the 1-bedroom unit or 2-bedroom unit? So, like, obviously hydro and natural gas or propane or whatever the heating method is, obviously plays a factor into the monthly cost of the units. So,
Yes.
I don't know if there's the possibility of including alternative methods of energy, like I know solar is something that's still somewhat feasible, but it's just if you're going in for it for the long-term investment, maybe that becomes a little bit more
Yeah,
feasible, right?
we're we're open to those ideas.
Yeah.
So far, the heat pumps, the new heat pumps are
Mm,
very
yeah.
energy efficient,
Yeah, yeah.
both heating and air conditioning. And the monthly, so the rents, we're trying to keep the rents around 13, I think we said 13 something.
Yeah.
You know, and the utility charges on top of it are, you know, French River, for instance, are around $100 a month. So that's their expenses.
Yeah.
So, and we know that, and we appreciate that, a lot of seniors live on OAS and CPP, you know, but there are some provincial programs or federal programs that they can top up their income to be able to make this kind of rent,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Lachance, any questions?
Yeah, more to do with like, yeah, you gave a breakdown here of the preliminary costs for the building, and then after, you had your base construction costs. Your base construction costs,
Yeah.
did you provide more of a breakdown of that too, like what kind of construction materials are gonna be like finishing on the insides and such? You could add that 3.25 million.
So, sorry to interrupt, but
Dave's the money guy.
Keith asked me to come today, and he knew that we would be getting in more in depth of the project, and I anticipated a lot of financial questions, right? So I prepared a dossier with the typical, and I'm calling it 11 units, because 10 units it works, but 11 is sometimes a little better because you have that extra revenue. Because they had originally 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, so we knocked out the third 1-bedroom unit and made 2 1s for the same capital cost, so the revenue's more. So I came up, I put together some packages for you folks here today, just so, I don't know how much time you have, but I assume you wanted to get into
We
it.
want to make sure we're thorough. We don't want to extend the meeting indefinitely, for sure. We'll allow an extra.
Hour.
No. No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got that came.
Yeah, that's the package that we have.
That's a different one.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, one of the, well, first of all, the biggest thing of all is the financial aspect of any of our projects. We try to have it so there's no financial pressure at all for a municipality, and virtually no risk in terms of guaranteeing a mortgage for a nonprofit. Because what would have to happen if you had to make a mortgage payment on behalf of the nonprofit, the place would have to be empty. They'd just have to be all vacated in 1 month, and then that's your risk, right? Because otherwise there is no risk. You're collecting rents and bills are being paid. The town have access to those rents in the event that the mortgage isn't paid. My plan is to always have no financial risk for the participants or for the stakeholders or the municipalities. So we come up with some scenarios where everything is 100% financed, right? So there'll be like $0 for the municipality to pay for anything like legal costs, surveys, appraisals, or anything to do with marketing it or anything to do with putting it in place, other than just signing a limited guarantee for the nonprofit. And so even that now has become a little easier because the Ontario Ministry of Affairs and Housing have a provision in their public sector accounting program, and I'm sure your treasurer would probably know most of that because she deals with her ARL. Most of you probably know what the ARL is, your ability to repay your financial strength of your organization. And the other thing is we don't want this project to affect your ARL or your ability to borrow money or anything like that. So the public sector through the Municipal Affairs and Housing have granted municipalities a way to guarantee worthwhile projects in the community without putting them on your balance sheet and without having to claim them other than a note on the financial statement as a contingent liability. And generally, your auditors will, at year end, wherever you're using to do your audit in the area, seems like one company does everybody's here in this community, but they would examine what the risk is and put that in the notes to the statement. So, and again, the only risk is if the place got emptied. So it doesn't go on your balance sheet. It doesn't affect your ability to borrow or to service any other parts of your community. So we have all of the backup here as well. If anybody needs a copy from the Ministry of Affairs, we've gotten letters from the auditors there and so on to support that mechanism. So I have that. So that's one of the the risk mitigations as part of our program, is that you can, if you set up a nonprofit and they borrow the money and you just simply provide the limited guarantee for payments, then you're not putting it on your balance sheet. So it's less risky for sure, right? It's invisible almost, right? And you want to do that for a lot of reasons. One is you don't want to be seen to competing with your landlords in town, right? The city shouldn't be in the business of renting apartments. It should be the nonprofit, and it's really not for profit where the rents are lower than the market and they're not making money. They're just covering their costs with a reserve, right? And so the town is removed from that, other than just guaranteeing the mortgage, and it's invisible, so nobody can actually see it. So in this package, Keith asked me to take a look at what would a typical 11-unit project look like in this community. So he said that the rents should be somewhere around $13.90 for a 1-bedroom and $14.90 for a 2-bedroom. Which, if you look at the survey on page 3 that we just did this year, you can see that rents around the other areas in this community are a heck of a lot higher for older units, not brand new units like these would be. So those were the target rents to base this pro forma on that I've done. So if you extrapolate those rental numbers, you end up with so small I can barely read, $189,000 roughly of revenue if the place is 100% full between the 1 and 2 bedrooms. And based on other projects of similar size, we took the cost, the annual cost of all those items that are there, such as snow removal, grass, property management, all those types of things. You can read them, and that's about 23 to 24,000 a year for those. For the life cycle costs, which means that you have to set money aside for when the roof needs replacing, or the windows need replacing, or anything needs replacing. Because there's a warranty period, we don't start collecting or putting money aside for that till usually the third or fourth or fifth year. We have to put a vacancy amount in there, as if, if some of the, if one or two of the units become empty over the years. So the annual operating surplus cash is $162,000. So we're estimating the capital cost of, to be $3,838,000. And there's a rough breakdown to your question, Councillor LaChance. There's a list of some of the items that are there. I know that the base construction, the bricks and mortar, isn't broken down, but when we come back to you with a full proposal, it will be a detailed construction budget that you'll be able to see.
So, just for clarification on the method of construction that DESCON uses, it's a fixed price. When he comes back in with it's called the CCDC fixed price contract, when he says it's gonna be $3 million, whatever the number is, because he has to look at the property, has to look at what it costs to provide the services in the property, he gives you that figure is guaranteed, doesn't go 1 cent more. And when he's doing digging and unearth something terrible or something, that's on him, not on you guys. So that's the provision he has to make.
Yeah,
So-
that's one of the biggest risk mitigations for you guys, is to have a fixed price turnkey where everything is bonded, everything is insured, and the price can't go up one dime. And if he doesn't complete, you have the bond, right? So, so there's gonna be virtually no risk. So our guys have to be on the ball when they're inspecting the site, especially the sites, because sometimes you have to blast, you don't see that rock under there, or you see a swamp in the back, or the water flow is not enough, or the septic system, the environmental wants it changed, or whatever. So it's fixed price. DESCON takes the responsibility for that.
But when you have in there, like, for example, you mentioned blasting, so under your allowances, you had $100,000 for blasting and such. If that doesn't take place on the project, that comes back.
That's right.
Absolutely.
As long as it comes back to you.
So the basic construction cost is what everybody would do. Any guy with a pouch, or a Joe Pouch guy locally, would go buy lumber and stick build the thing on slab on grade. It'd be the same price, roughly $3 million. So we'll get down to the details, but that's pretty much it. The allowance portions are administrative things that we project that may happen. Like if you don't want bonding, well, we take 30 grand right out off the bat. If we don't have to do the site and spend that 100 grand, it comes back. If you don't want sheds, that 20 grand comes back. So all of a sudden, those allowances don't get used, and the capital cost is less, and that's what you finance at the end, what is used, right, of those allowances. And and you determine that, because there's construction financing. We put 140,000 in there. If it gets finished sooner, that's less. If the interest rates go down, that is less. If COVID comes again and we have to stretch it out, that could be more, right? Like we were in COVID with some projects, so we have to be conscious of those things. Your treasurer will tell you that there's going to be a shortfall in the collection of HST, because you folks can claim only 86%, and then there's 14% that you have to pay. Well, we're building that 14 into the project, so you don't have to pay it, and we'll pay it for you on your behalf. So we've built in all those things.
And the other thing I noticed is that for like a property tax, a grace period for 5 years, we didn't add it in at the end, so after 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, no, because some communities do it forever. Some communities do it for 5, for 10, they graduate it in. These are some questions that we'll have, because some councils want to have these places pay for themselves at some point. They're obligated, or they get a lot of pressure from the residents that, hey, why are they not paying tax? And so it's up to you guys, but we just this was quickly done, just as an example, this was an example.
On
for you.
average, a lot of the communities we deal with, in like French River, I believe it was 15 years or 15 years for a tax holiday. I can't remember, 10 or 15 years. Bonnfield, they waive them forever, and it's different. Depends on if the council, how badly they want to keep seniors in the community and keep the income, or keep the rents low. So the more the community can do to keep the cost down by, and what we talk about using municipal land, if we can get the municipality to donate a piece of property, that's a big savings. If we have to go and buy a piece of property worth $100,000, it adds the cost up, so.
And the pricing that you're showing right now is assuming that the land is given, like for the rents that you stated?
Yes.
It's
yes.
assuming the land is given, that there's very minimal costs to connect to the sewage?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah.
But obviously you're aware that we have no water, so.
Yeah,
the well
no,
would
we are aware of that, and the DESCON guys are saying that, you know, they can drill a deep enough well, and, you know, so we build those costs into this budget, so. Yeah, the water is an issue, eh?
Yeah.
Just in some areas of town though, eh?
Yeah, some areas seem to be
Mine's pretty good.
having more difficulty.
My water table's very high by my place, so.
Yeah,
mine-
on this, on the east side, it's good. On the west side is a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Well, I
Problematic.
mean, you know, typically what happens is the guys in DESCON or the sub-engineer, they go out and they test other people's wells, they do a flow test and based on records and do some, they even, in some places, we've done some drilling to see, you know, what the capacity is and, you know, before they even start building, so.
Okay.
So, so I guess in terms of, excuse me, I don't think we're sitting here asking for a construction contract to start building. I think there's a lot of unknowns. I think there's a lot of things that have to be flushed out of the community. And I think we're willing to put the speculation and the time and the energy and money into seeing if there'll be a project. So essentially what we'd be asking for is a letter of engagement that if the project goes through and you're happy with everything, that you would pick us to do the project since the time and money we spent. And in the event that you don't, well, then you can't do it with anyone else, right? So, but I think there's some other things that come before that, right? Expression of interest, because I
At
think
this
the
stage,
sole source
this stage
is.
is really just gauging if you wanna move to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, the report that I submitted, plus the strategic plan, plus the aging, report, that you already know there's a demand for housing. Is 10 the magic number, or 11 the magic number? We can begin to formalize all that if council wants to proceed to the next level, so.
I understand that, like, and appreciate all the work that's been put into preparing this proposal and all of the work that's gone behind the numbers, but I'm just talking for myself right now.
Yeah.
Seeing that what's happening in Noelville, how they're having this difficulty in filling the housing that they've produced, despite the fact that they had a high number of interest, and I see our two community as being similar in geographic location. Like
Yeah.
we're not, neither one of us is close to a hospital. Neither one of us is close to.
Correct.
So all
Yeah.
of these other factors. So for that reason, I think it's going to be a slow burn. It's not something
Yeah.
we're going to be jumping on
Yeah,
immediately, but we're going to be keeping an eye on that. That's my personal view, and I think we should let staff maybe deal with trying to figure out when the opportune time is going to happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
So in a lot of communities, when we initially started doing these 15 years ago, it was the biggest issue is, do we build it and they're gonna come? Or do we sign leases and then we build it? So we did a lot of community meetings and we got people to sign documents saying that they're willing and give a deposit, $100, for example. that they're willing to move in when it's open. I'm selling my house or I'm moving into the community, but I will take one when it is, here's my thing, and I'll sign the paper. And so we had a lot of one-on-ones at the public meetings where we got like 50 or 60% of the place full before we even got to this stage, right? And so perhaps those kinds of measures might be employed in this community just to shore up and give the confidence, because, you know, we're trying to be transparent, and yes, in Noelville, they have like 16 leases, people moving in, move-in dates, and there's 4 more that expect to be signed next week. The break even over there is 24. I'm not sure why they had hundreds of people on a waiting list and they all disappeared. God knows, I don't know why. Nobody's worried yet because we're going to start marketing. They wanted to keep the community only living there. So it was kind of private for a while.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, now it's time to open it up to other communities and even Sudbury.
Yeah.
So we're working with companies that specialize in marketing these types of projects to bigger audiences. So since we're working in Killarney and Marksby and you guys and we're looking at that as a regional housing initiative so that we could go to a company and say, okay, here's our issue, here's our target, here's what we want to get done, how much, and how are we going to do this, right? And maybe we get a rep from each one of the towns to sit with this company and come up with a plan. Because these are really nice units for seniors. I'm telling you, when you park in front of your unit, they're on level ground with a little patio. If anyone's seen them with a little patio in the background, and when you move from your house into there, you're going to think you're still in your house. And it's really nice living. And you can move in there with mobility, and if you lose mobility, you still have the same features, right? Which are kind of nice. And so if people knew all that, I think that they would, I think there would be a higher interest. It's just that they've kept it like under their wing, right?
Yeah, but there's already, I think there's 2 or 3 residents from St. Charles
That are
that are
signed up.
going to.
It could
so-
be, there is a crossover
Yeah,
for sure.
there is a crossover. So
And I
the-
think, like you said, geographically, because you could have somebody who lives in St. Charles, like my brother-in-law, is right on
I
a
know.
stone throw from the border of French River.
Yeah.
You know, so
And
I know.
And our name is everything on these things.
Yeah.
If one project fails, then we fail, and
Yeah.
then our future fails. So we have to be as transparent and work closely with you to overcome some of these things. And we're not asking you to sign anything or do anything other than to say, yes, we have a need, but here's our concern, and you
Yeah.
said it, right?
Yeah.
If that's your big concern, the rest is easy breezy, right? We can
You know,
always.
perhaps another public meeting and get the survey out more or something, and more than just with the senior group, because there was an excellent turnout at the senior meeting. Remember that? I was shocked how many seniors were there. And based on the response so far that we've got, just about 5% of the senior population did submit it, varying from immediate to the next couple of years or something. So I think the numbers are there. We just need to get the word out and give them the confidence that, yes, it is gonna happen. These are the rents, and maybe another public meeting that involves the community and the seniors as well, and to make sure the survey does get back out there again.
Yeah.
So,
So if the program works that we have,
Yeah.
the system and the program works hands down, but you need people to live there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't wanna, we're not gonna push a
No.
project on you guys,
No,
because like
no,
Dave
no,
said,
no.
if we build 10 and you only get 2 people moving in, you're not gonna be happy, we're not gonna be happy, you know, it just doesn't work. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I think for the moment, oh, yeah, well, I've got a little note here that's saying, well, I know I went to the one in Noelville, which helped me have a good concrete
Yeah.
idea of what it looks like, and I know a few of the other counselors didn't get that opportunity. So I don't know if Noelville still have that open house concept going. for,
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure-
do, and we'll be
yeah.
cutting ribbons soon,
Yeah.
so,
Oh, yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
time for you to come and see
Yeah.
the pavement and.
We could arrange that, I mean, you're right, it'd be good to see it, and they did do a promotional video that we could send to you, you gotta have a look at it, but
Yeah.
you're right, I mean, it was impressive, eh?
yeah, it was, and in all honesty, the big common room is what I think made it more of a community living situation. So like I said, I don't think we wanna commit today
Yeah.
but I think we should work with staff and try to figure out what the next step should be.
I'm in agreement, yeah.
Can
Yeah.
Pam go over some numbers and see, give us her thoughts?
Well,
on-
as they stated, the numbers depends on where the location is.
Exactly, maybe
And
we can
whether
work
or
that.
not there's piping that needs to be
Yeah.
put in ground
Or-
for the sewage, and whether
Yeah,
the numbers can fluctuate, and that's why we have to consider also, Millville had that one spot already set up for them, but here we have limited space that would be low cost and have access to sewers.
And
Most
we
of the other
might have
spaces
to
would have to be.
buy some land,
Mhm.
buy some place, tear
Yeah.
down the building.
And then it just, if there's purchase and then adding sewage, what's that do to the rent sort of a scenario?
Well, the other thing is I've often pushed our guys to build something, a configuration that it could be even a little more affordable. Like there's some creative ways of doing cluster housing where they're, just gotta watch stairs for seniors and stuff, right?
Yeah,
But,
they don't want stairs.
so
Yeah,
we
no,
we just
can't
have
do-
to, we
yeah.
just have to be careful with that,
Yeah.
but it's,
I think the big thing now is determining the needs.
Yeah.
I think we can bring in the more accurate construction dollar figures and expenses once we pick a property, but I think it's critical that everybody's comfortable that 10 is the magic number, and I think perhaps another big community meeting in the fall, say, and try and get the word out there, try and get people to come out and get a more commitment from them. If they thought it really was gonna happen, so.
Yeah,
Actually, 10, you wouldn't want to go below 10 because the economy of scale would not
Exactly.
support it, right?
Yeah,
yeah, you
And,
lose it.
yeah.
And so,
Even
especially
at 10, I think you're
even
pushing
if
it.
you want,
Yeah.
if you want to keep rents down, then
Yeah.
we have to,
One of the concepts that we're looking at now is working on this modular design idea. We've entertained with a company that builds these things through the winter. And it's very efficient. It's about a 15% savings in material, but it reduces the construction time by about 3 months. So if we can save 3 months off construction period, the construction financing is reduced by 3 months. So we're looking at seriously about building that idea into these projects. I mean, it all is a saving back to the community, so anyhow.
I know. All right, so there's gonna be more communication between you guys and staff and try to figure out what the next step. And like you stated, it's more trying to make sure that at the end of it, council isn't left to pay
Yeah.
for
No, we don't
anything.
want that. No.
And I know you don't want it, we don't want it, but
Yeah.
Just
To make
one
sure.
thing, you mentioned earlier that the ideal size with a septic system would be up to 2 acres. If we were able to get onto the septage in the municipality, what size of lot would you be looking at now?
no, that is,
I think it's you have sewer here,
yes, we do.
but you don't have water. Okay, so maybe it is a little less. I
it
was
is
getting.
less for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting
So
the
it's like
size.
2 acres would be with the septic system, right?
Yeah, if we had to install a septic system, you need 2 acres for 10 units. That was what I was told, but you have sewer here, you don't have water.
Yes.
Or,
That's it.
yes,
Correct.
okay, yeah, so that, I don't think you need 2 acres anymore
So
then.
you know roughly what we would need then, because if
I
kind
thi-
of
I don't
picking a-
know.
Picking a home for it is important, we need to kind of know what we're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that information, get it to Denise and circulate to you guys. I was getting mixed up because when we're talking to people in Mark State, they don't have sewer in so in my mind, I was thinking, okay, we need 2 acres over there. you know, for a field bed and everything else. So,
In Noelville, we have two large drilled wells, and with a water treatment plant in one of the buildings for filtering and cleaning all the water. It's required by law now, so.
Yeah.
But I think they're on sewer over there, right?
they're on sewer.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so let's work through the occupancy is the big issue right now,
Yeah,
identifying that.
trying to see what's happening with Melville.
Yeah.
When that sort of gels,
Yeah,
we'll have a better idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get you an invite to the ribbon cutting for sure, and,
well, even before that, if you want us to set up, we can, because there's still have empty units, if anybody wants to have a preview of those, by all means, they can accommodate that. Is
Okay,
20 minutes down the road.
we got some staged ones
Yeah.
there.
they've got a stage one?
Yeah, two actually, a 1 and a 2 bedroom are staged with
Are they?
beds and furniture
yeah.
in them, because we had an open house
Yeah.
and to boost occupancy and,
Yeah. Okay,
so.
thank you very much.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
no,
you
it's our
allowing us-
pleasure. Thank you for
Yeah.
seeing us. Yeah, we're by your door regularly, as you can imagine. Now, I have more copies of the, probably your treasurer would want to see the ARL
Yep,
and the auditor's reports on how you can mitigate that ARL balance sheet items. I have those here, and we have a couple more copies of that, which you just have there, that's here as well, so.
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Taking time.
Appreciate your time.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. All right, next, announcements and inquiries, nobody from the public. Council, any,
None for myself.
None for myself.
Councilor Potier,
None for myself.
Councilor Lachance?
None for myself.
I've got two, I don't know if you're aware, but, the food bank made a plea with, DSAB for a refrigerated C-can unit, which has now been delivered. We're meeting with, Moore Electric, and he's gonna be helping us connect it, and he's just gonna be doing that at no charge because it's for the food bank. The other mention here is just we got a little thank you note from the school for the bursary that we gave them. All right, next, correspondence, mover and a seconder to receive correspondence. Councillor Potier and Councillor Lachance.
Moved by Councillor Potier and seconded by Councillor Lachance. Be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles receives the following correspondence for information. Copy of letter from Brudnell, Lindock, and Raglan dated June 6, 2025 regarding call for inclusive research to reflect diversity of Canadian communities. Number 2, copy of a letter from Brudnell, Lindock, and Raglan dated June 6, 2025 regarding Ontario Works financial assistance rates. Number 3, copy of letter from Prince Edward dated June 13, 2025. Number 4, copy of letter from Bradford, West Gwillimbury dated June 17, 2025 regarding advocacy for increased income support thresholds for Canadian veterans. Number 5, letter from John Vantoff dated June 17, 2025. Number 6, email from Port Hope dated June 20, 2025 regarding Bill 5, Protect Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act 2025. Number 7, email from McNabb Braeside dated June 23, 2025 regarding Township of McNabb Braeside motion re strong Mayor Powers. Number 8, copy of a letter from Southgate dated June 23, 2025 regarding Bill 5, Protecting Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act. Number 9, copy of a letter from Fort Erie dated June 24, 2025 regarding the Corporation of the County of Prince Edward Resolution Bill 5, Protect Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act 2025. Number 10, copy of letter from Fort Erie dated June 24, 2025 regarding the Corporation of the Township of Rideau Lakes Resolution Strong Mayor Powers. Number 11, copy of a letter from Northumberland dated June 25, 2025 regarding correspondence, Township of Mulmer, procurement and advocacy for trade agreement exemptions. Number 12, copy of letter from Service Ontario dated June 26, 2025 regarding medical certificate of death and expanding the scope of practice for nurses. Number 13, copy of a letter from Pickering dated June 30, 2025 regarding opposition to Bill 5 and request to repeal. Number 14, copy of a letter from Coburg dated July 4, 2025 regarding Ontario's Bill 5 and its impact on the local food system and the environment. And number 15, email from FNUM dated July 10, 2025 regarding recent FNUM policy work.
Thank you very much. Any directions to staff for these correspondence?
Information only for myself.
Information only.
Information only.
Councilor Shums?
Draft a resolution in support of item 5, please. That was 1117.
The 1117 highways.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Next is a resolution stemming from June 18th. And it's for the reduced rate, or the free access to the municipal center. Can I have a move and a seconder? Councillor Loftus and Councillor Framboise?
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Laframboise. Whereas the Sudbury East Family Service Provider Network held a family day on June 7th, 2025 at the St. Charles Community Center, and whereas the Sudbury East Family Service Provider Network has submitted a request to Council for the waiver of the rental fees for this event, and whereas the event has met the conditions required under the Fees and Charges Bylaw 2018-44 and amended by Bylaw 2023-52 to qualify to be exempt or pay a nominal fee. Be it therefore resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles here agrees to waive the community center rental fees for the event held on June 7, 2025 by the Sudbury East Family Service Provider Network.
All those in favor? Carried. Next, item 8.1, a report to council, the quarterly report, environmental services. It's Michelle, and she's not here, so, but did she give any directions? Frequently, she just lets the report stand.
Yeah, and that was the, did talk to her, and basically it was for information for council, and if there was any question, that council could forward an email or direct any questions through me, and
Okay.
it would get back with an answer.
All right, any questions?
Information only.
Information only.
Just a question about the waste diversion. I know in the Q1 there was quite a bit in electronics, mix, paint, batteries, and lighting. I don't know if that's just calculated at the time that it's like shipped out. Is that so? That's why it would be 0. So, no question needed for Michelle. And then, yeah. Other than that, I mean, we're up to 8 contract notifications for service delivery issues this year already. I don't know if that's, I almost feel like that's low, but there's been quite a few issues, and I don't know if that's still ongoing or if they've tried to address those shortfalls, but.
Lately, they've been down to 1 or 2 per event, per pickup. Way down, there's no, apart from early on, they've been regular on the Tuesdays.
Right.
I know for a while, the equipment breakdown was causing a lot of delays and a lot of calls. And also a lot of misses during that period, because they would come up and pick up what they forgot, but they also forgot what was
Where
the
did it
second
stop?
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that did cause a lot. Usually the call comes in and we get right on with them. They've been good. They've improved.
I'm also aware that there's been some very recent internal office administration changes been made, so there could be some other,
With the
Issue.
provider?
yeah, that there may be better service coming.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Councilor Chance, any questions?
For information only.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, 8.2.1, resolution to receive cash disbursements. Moving to seconder. Councillor Potier, Councillor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Potier and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that the cash disbursement register for the month of June 2025 be received in the amount of $331,082.87.
Okay, again, Pamela is on vacation this week, so if there are any questions, you can state them, we'll write them down.
Information only.
Information only.
I just have two. It was just on page 100, Michelle Mathieu. It just says plan, and it was for $705.73. I couldn't,
I can answer that.
yeah.
Okay,
So Michelle Mayu is a lawyer in Sudbury. We used her to register, I believe that one was probably to register the road closure bylaw on the subdivision roads.
Okay, and that's good, answered my question. And just on page 103, PSD Citywide Inc., can you propose level of service invoice? AMPS,
Yes.
okay, oh yes, okay. I just drew a blank, okay.
okay,
Questions answered.
thank you very much. Councillor Potier?
No, for information only.
All right, Councillor Lachance.
I just one that stood out on page 94. I know it was when we were doing the rentals and stuff, but $1,701 for a credenza. What's a credenza?
It's the 2 filing units for our admin staff.
Okay.
Okay. Any further questions, Councillor Lachance?
No, I learned what a credenza is today.
It was a fancy word for a unit that there's two, so instead of having a tall filing cabinet, there are two drawers that are side by side.
And if you haven't seen the modifications, the renos, take it, it's very nice, very nice. Okay, next, was that your last question?
That was it. Yeah.
That was it, all right, thank you very much. Okay, so all those in favor? Carried.
Oh, shoot, there was another one. It's okay. I just-
Okay, this one is item 8.2.2, report to council budget policy review. It was prepared by Pamela, but I think Dennis is going to take it on.
Yes, so I was made aware of some concerns that there was a policy that the budget process was not being followed. Obviously, council was aware of the transition we went to. Now we're very stable in the Treasury Department. So obviously now this policy would be, we would, if council wants to, we could start following this, and then we should have just said it's impossible because we're catching up. But obviously now, this policy is before council to say, to adopt this, and the treasurer did make some significant notes on costs that we do not receive early on or for the following budget cycle. So if you look in the, on the number 2, you can see that there's a significant portion of the budget numbers that are, sorry, I'm just mouse challenged right now. Like the we don't know the total numbers until November 19th. That's almost 19% of our revenue. It's a significant amount. The OPP, the billing comes in October. DSAB, usually it's a December, early December, which is 9.4%. Public Health, November, 1.7, less significant. MPAC, again, smaller number, but again, late in December. Sudbury's Planning Board, it's always early spring because they have a late budget adoption also. In insurance, so I did discuss with the treasurer, preparing a budget early before you get the numbers, what usually ends up happening is that you have a tax stabilization account. So you adopt the budget, and something comes in at a higher rate than expected, so the tax stabilization would bring it down, and then you could revise your numbers on the following year. So you could adopt early and just have a tax stabilization reserve smoothing out
So it would be sort of a catch-up.
yeah, a catch-up or even some good surprises, because we know DSAP is steady at whatever percent increase. They always try to stick around inflation, so you forecast inflation. And like everything else, we do a budget for equipment repair. Talking with the Director of Operation, the backhoe you'll probably get a report the following meeting on repairs regarding the backhoe because we can't forecast it. So similar to here, it's just that her comments was there's significant numbers, so we would have to probably have a little reserve set up in case DSAB comes, we'll say one of the big ones, until say is cut by 10%, we're gonna take the revenue, so you would have to have a reserve, so it's like a delayed action. So that was one of her concern. I think she said it's 21.6%. But the opposite view is that come January 1st, department heads would be able to action items and not wait till June or July. There could be more time to mitigate tax increases because right now we come pressure, we need to adopt the budget, and by the way, it is X amount of percentage. Sorry, leaving a little room for consideration, even though the ideal would be early, late winter, early spring, like March is ideal. But again, this, if you look at the policy itself, it would have an adopted budget. I read it, I don't want to say it wrong here. Sorry, need glasses.
January, right?
Yeah, early in the year, so department heads wouldn't wait. So in the absence of this, what is often passed is a 50%, so you're allowed to spend 50% of last year, so you're not bound, so I can't buy oil or diesel for the trucks. You can spend 50%, capital expenditures are approved on a as requested basis. So I don't know if council wants to review this, and if they want the treasurer to start and all staff to start following this policy, we will start implementing it probably in August, committee of the whole for the annual review timeline. So it would be the next meeting. So I have to inform you that the treasurer is also scheduled to be on vacation in August at this time. So we can still make it happen because again, you can review the timeline. It does not require a treasurer, maybe input, but if council wishes to follow. And just to mention about the tax stabilization is you've heard of the 2-year or the 5-year budget. It's no different. You can set the budget for 5 years and it's tax stabilization and review it every year and adjust the tax stabilization account and numbers, so.
So then if for some reason we get a surprise bill that comes in, the tax stabilization would absorb that cost and then
Yes.
it would show up on the following year.
The perfect one that will happen this year is that we're gonna have a new collective agreement come January 1st. What is the number? We don't know. We should expect a significant increase. It won't be 1%, assuming. How do you predict that? So what do you put? So we'll say we'll put X amount of dollars aside, but if you're off, if you're over, well, fine, you'll have extra money in the reserve, but if you're under, like we need a significant reserve to put aside. So that would be one of the issues, but after that collective agreement, as you heard the treasurer last meeting, salary is everything in our budget. So once the collective agreement is passed, well, for the next 4 years, we know exactly probably what 30% of our budget is.
Mhm. All right. So is the recommendation from you and or the treasurer to proceed with this format or or is she recommending a modified approach to it? Like,
I'm just wondering too, like, there's the last page, it's election year, which would be next year. Would that be starting this year for election year, or election year is next year?
next year.
Next year?
Next year, yeah, because unfortunately, they did change I think the swearing in dates, so it's a bit of modification. But obviously, if you're mid-budget process and you adopt the budget and new council takes over,
Yeah.
they may say, whoa, we were elected to build a statue in front of something. We're trying to find an exaggeration here, but,
Yeah.
obviously, every new council, whatever the composition, will always have a different mandate unless it's the exact same council coming in.
All right. So is the recommendation to proceed with as it's stated and say, whoops, we're gonna adjust, or is it that the preferred option is to delay? Like, I'm not sure there, that's my question.
So, the treasurer did not state a recommendation. In discussion with her, she said it is possible, but if you know any accountant, they like to have concrete numbers and not guess.
Yeah,
So I think she likes having all the facts to set, but that is me talking for Pam, and I
Yeah.
don't really want to do that.
okay. We'll go, any questions?
So, I'll be honest, I brought this forward because I don't like the idea that we're, getting the budget done, like, by the end of April. So, as I was looking through, I found this. I'm willing to do option 2 and, a revision of the policy. And it is a big number, like the OMFPF, so if we would back everything up a month, it would still bring us like maybe the end of January, beginning of February to, adopt the budget, which would be a lot easier than end of April.
Yeah.
I just think it should be January, February, that we should be adopting a budget,
Okay,
not halfway in the year.
True. All right, thank you very much. Council Loftus?
I think just keeping the policy the way it is, because, I mean, if Pam has the numbers, the treasurer, when she has the numbers, and usually she's ready to go, she's already had the department heads give their, budgets in probably December of what their projects are gonna be. So I think if we just, push it a little bit forward so that come January, she could present it in January, and by February, we'd be able to pass it.
Okay, so
I
you're
think,
in
yeah.
agreement,
yeah,
but
but
that's
I
a
don't,
modified.
yeah, like I just don't want, I don't wanna be given a budget not knowing what all the the department heads, by the end of November, they should be giving us the numbers so that we can start working on the budget and we could pass it in January.
Okay. Council Putty?
Yeah, that was my only comment as well, is, the numbers can all be done, and we can basically be pending approval by end of December, and then come January, if there's any major changes to, cause I think the only one that's, really far out would be, Sudbury East Planning Board, which is April 25th, but that's such a small percentage
Yeah.
of the budget that I don't think.
So,
Yeah, we just account for what the past 4-year history would be of that increase, and then just kind of go with that. I think that.
yeah, a forecast.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way going forward to this, and it means the budget can essentially be approved the first meeting in January.
Okay.
At that point.
Early January.
Yeah.
December 23rd impact.
Council Lachance? Any,
I think the sooner that we approve the budget, the better for everyone, and there's less, it doesn't drag on as long.
yeah,
We can
Okay.
conduct business quicker and more efficiently this way, so.
so about January is a date that you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I
I think even a special meeting, right, like if
Yeah, if it doesn't, because as it's stated, it would happen, what's the
The
date?
regular,
So the,
like the final draft would be the regular in January,
To
or,
December
First draft.
prior to
First
December,
draft in January,
oh, sorry, November.
okay. Okay, so therefore, we would be holding to this format. January delivery.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's election year, right?
is that the election year one?
The other one is
well,
November.
it's for the
November's
election year,
and October.
excuse me,
The other one's a
It's
little
November.
earlier.
November.
That's
Yeah,
what it is.
and that's,
November's late inducted.
that's why that
The
one,
non-election year.
That's why I was saying go back 1 month.
or have them
Like-
both the same January.
Like if you look at all the,
By January will be a new council in, and they're making them approve budget right away, I guess, in their first
But-
first meeting, second meeting.
But that's, right now, it is for a new council, it is January. They're the ones that approved it.
But that should almost be pushed, that one should almost be pushed forward a month, like later, I think.
Yeah, like-
Cause November is, I think is too early to have even,
like if you push everything a month.
for the election year one.
Both of them.
For the election year one,
Oh, yeah,
It's
both,
January.
yeah, both of them, yeah.
Move that forward a month,
okay, because they give them a chance to absorb
move that forward.
another,
Yeah, like if it was a whole new
To
council
January.
again.
yeah, they get hit
Not the
by,
kind of decision you wanna make right off the hop, I think.
yeah, cause I think the regular one, January, is what everybody seems to be agreeing. And for the election year, the first meeting, like, you don't wanna be handling that right, give them a month to. If it's basically the existing council that gets reelected, it's not that big of a deal, but if all of a sudden there's several new people on council, it gives them a bit of an adjustment.
But I think you also have to look at the timeline too, right? So if we're gonna back everything, I think everything should be backed a month.
Yeah,
Like if, like you're saying, you know, people are on vacation in August, so instead of having the
Yeah.
August meeting of the whole for annual review timeline, maybe it should be September. And then, that's what I was thinking,
yeah,
and then it brings you to January.
yeah. So, but the final approval, I think, I like January also. All right. So these comments are gonna be provided to Pamela. Okay, thank you very much. Next item, report to council, 8.2.3, facilities, fees and charges. Again, Pamela, but I think this one is more of just a review of what was previously discussed for the fees. So,
Yeah.
anything that you
Then for
noticed?
myself, No,
No?
no changes.
No, it's good.
Okay, Councilor Patsy?
So we had discussed allowing, access to the facilities the day prior and the day after for, the weekend rentals. Unfortunately, I think it kinda got maybe a little bit, I don't wanna, not that it wasn't mixed up, but it was just, now it's in there as the rental is from Thursday to Monday. So I think that needs to be changed in a sense, cause we're not saying that they have access, like on that weekend rental, they don't have access to use the facility to its full capacity, they're just, they have the
A
day
setup.
before, yeah, exactly, so I think that needs to be kind of, amended, fixed a little better. What else was it? The,
So it should be Friday to Sunday
Yeah.
with setup and takedown
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and the extra day setup, I mean, it might not have to be in there, it might, maybe that's something that's in the, cause I know this is the fees bylaw, but you have, is there not like an accompanying policy or contract that goes with this, kind of for the rental
There's a
agreements? Yeah.
Contract.
So that could be something that's in there, I thought we removed quite a few options, and it looks a lot more streamlined, so it's nice for that. I think the bar, another one that I just noticed that it was just kind of one of those things is the bar rental one. I was kind of like, do we really keep that in there? But I guess we'll leave that one as is. I don't think that's. And then one that we didn't really revisit, we were supposed to touch back base on it last meeting, was the table setup and takedown. So it got condensed, like to what was kind of discussed, but we were still kind of on the fence about the cost behind that, right? Because essentially we're putting onus on people to be either paying the fee or handling municipal equipment that if they drop, it'll easily break it or injure somebody. So I don't know if, like, I think we could possibly leave this as is, or maybe even reduce it, but I think at the end of the day, if it takes somebody, because we're counting $30 an hour or something along those lines for somebody to be moving tables, well, for 10 tables, it's not gonna take an hour, so it's gonna be pretty quick moving all the tables.
Yeah.
I don't know, the moving of the table setup and takedown is one that's kind of been like, I don't know if we should start with because right now somebody rents a hall, they get a blank slate, and for the most part, a lot of them who are doing the typical rentals would probably just want the standard 9 tables or something.
Well,
But it depends on who is renting, right?
who is renting?
Like,
Who do you think is rent it? The
Well-
people that rent
yeah,
often,
yeah,
and then the people that don't, that rent just that's what's happening. I think we're
Yeah.
trying to add stuff, but yeah, for the people that rent once, okay, they because they've never handled tables, they've never done these things,
yeah,
and so that we're trying to have, but then for the people that rent frequently, because of they do lots of activities for the municipality or whatever, they're
Yeah.
the ones that are paying for it,
Yeah.
because, and they're the ones that are trying to, so that's it's a good, bad sort of a scenario.
So I think say we'll take say we'll take the Canada Day, for example.
But Canada Day is a municipal.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'm just gonna say, like, for the tables, like the amount of tables I wrote, there was maybe a little bit more than what would be standard, but you know, there's a pretty standard configuration that could be used, and then at the end of the day, oh, we need a few more tables. What's taking 4 tables out? But then that same configuration can be used for probably a majority of rentals if people that are renting it for a night, for, like, say whether or not it's a wedding or a banquet of some sort, like, they're gonna all use probably around in that same range of tables, whether or not it's a evening event or it's a full day event. Like, even the full day events, you still have,
Yeah.
you know, probably 9 or 10
How many
tables.
weddings do we
You're
handle
just
in
gonna
there?
bring up the base rate of your rental anyways, cause you're still gonna cover that labor in there.
Yeah, but if the table's already out there, that's what I'm saying, is you just always keep those tables out there.
You gotta move them every time you want them on
No.
the floor.
You want
Yeah, but then you have people, if you don't have them there, then people are handling them, and, I mean, yes, we have people who are renting it regularly who are used to always handling the tables.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware of that. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's, like, it's good,
Yeah,
and there's the bad.
yeah, I don't know.
Because that's it. If we're looking at how many weddings did we have last year? Any? Do you know?
One?
One maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just, we're, yeah, looking at cleaning it up and not making it so daunting for people. Oh,
Yeah.
now I gotta pay extra for setting up tables, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you.
And then something that's constantly coming up is like for the facility rentals is service levels in that kind of sense, and I know that's going to be coming up more and more with establishing service levels. It's just, I know there's always there's an ongoing theme of you know, I want to say complexity of the of some systems, some certain systems in there that make it a little difficult for some people. And also, I know we've had recently some issues, I guess, with dishwasher, I think there was some issues with it this year. There was some issues with the stove experienced. It's just, there's a lot of like little ongoing issues that it really affects, like whenever a rentee experiences a lot of those issues, and it compounds, right? So they kind of see it, and I know we're working on increasing our fees and you know, not increasing, but commonalizing them and making them better. And people, as long as they see the value in it, I think we're good. But it's just when we start having those little hindrances and stuff like that, it really takes away from, yeah.
The two items that you listed though those were handled by, it was a municipal program, and it was I don't wanna say municipal staff, but they were regularly using the stove, so they realized there was
Okay.
a problem.
Yeah.
And for the dishwasher, I think it was a lack of use. Something jammed in the floater. I don't know. It rusted in.
They had the wrong direction.
Wrong directions.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
model. It's the different model, and the instructions were,
Yeah, that I realized also. But there was a problem with the float when it was like gushing
oh, okay.
from the door. That was the float didn't say stop putting water in. That was it. But I think that was from lack of use. It stayed stuck.
And
Because it wasn't used because of the fact that it was the wrong directions on the board.
and I say I corrected the sound system that it's been giving us heck forever. Apparently there was some damage to the wires underneath the stage
Yeah.
by the residents there, so.
And I have to, I don't want to say apologize, but there might be some fixing to do, because over the weekend they had a wake or celebration of life, and unfortunately they had some issues trying to run the projector, I guess. So they were trying to run it wirelessly, and they were trying to follow the instructions, but it was never projecting.
Yes,
To the-
and unfortunately, that one, even it escapes me why, if you plug the USB, it does not work. I'm looking for a wireless option direct to the projector, and that's more of a technical issue, because the HDMI cable that is running, I replaced it with a better quality one,
Yeah.
and it's still giving me issues, and
So we were able to kind of circumvent the wireless portion and make it work with connecting the HDMI directly,
perfect.
and it worked. It worked at the time. I don't know if at this point we don't have a whole lot of revenue being generated by that for that Pulp PA system.
No.
So it's just, I don't know if it would be worth having somebody who would want to assist in, you know, simplifying the process or something. Like, I don't know. Obviously we don't want to have an IT, or not IT, but like
Counselor?
pardon?
A counselor?
No, but I mean, I mean, yeah, I don't mind assisting with that. It's like, because I feel for them, because they'll try for an hour or two before somebody is like, oh, let's get a hold of so-and-so and try it out, right, and see if they can fix it. So I feel for them, because they're trying to get something working. And
I do agree with that, the
Yeah.
sound system, even last time I was with the mayor and noticed there was some, like the computer should be just out of there.
yeah,
If you wanna use a projector, bring your own laptop, because the complexity of connecting to a stranger's computer. So that, last time I removed all USB direct contact, it's a Bluetooth connection for the sound system, but then we were getting all the static
All
feedback,
interference.
which we figured out was a damaged wire, which was replaced. But
Right.
the video,
Yeah.
that I would, if you know somebody that would wanna come and spend a few hours, I could show them the system, cause I know a few times we had some people with some experience there.
yeah,
It's just trying to figure out, and I do believe it's the length of the run of the HDMI cable. I am not,
yeah,
I took the best cable, that's it.
yeah.
And, but I think it's a projector, it's a fairly expensive projector, so
Mhm.
it should work. It's not wirelessly, unfortunately, when I bought it, it's one of those options that you never think that would have been the solution, is to get it wireless. There are some aftermarket
Yeah,
gadgets that we can add to it, that we just remove all wires, and everyone knows how to operate a phone, and maybe that's the solution.
yeah. Because
I know if there's the HDMI in, you know, we talked about, there's one you put it for the in and then you have the out, you just plug
for the wireless.
For the wireless.
Yeah, cause I
And-
noticed that.
Because
yeah,
the other one
extra-
is, there's steps upon steps to get it connect. It's not bad if you're at home and you do it once, but if you want somebody that's coming in, how do they go click, it's working. They don't want like a page of
Yes,
instructions,
correct. And
yeah.
that's-
Anyhow, that I agree is something that,
It frustrates the renters.
Yeah.
The dishwasher did. The stove itself, just letting council know, it's aging. There are new stoves where you turn it on, it lights by itself. This one are all manual. I know commercials were like that. One of the issues ongoing is those pilots go out and there's a smell of propane. They leave the fan running. Unfortunately, we have to have probably a discussion in the near future of replacing that stove and putting something that is in expectation of safety, efficient. Turn it on, it works.
Yeah.
We don't have to watch any fireballs or issues with the stove.
yeah, it's hard to start sometimes.
Yeah.
so
But
good.
those, okay, we're deviating from.
Yeah,
the good thing.
100%, yeah.
So,
I think that was mostly it for me, is
Okay.
Thursday to Monday, and I wanted to discuss the tables fee, you know, whether we abolish it or change it to $5 per table. You're getting $50 for 10 tables, I don't know if it really makes a difference there. I was just in interest of the people that would be getting that aren't paying an arm and a leg for, cause they're, you know, for a 1-day event, they're paying, what was it? $450, and then almost 25% of that would be an extra if they wanna set up 10 tables.
Yeah.
So that was just, yeah.
Councillor Chance?
Yeah, I guess, it's gonna be coming back for discussion anyways, so we can wait till we get there. And actually get it passed and finalized, but.
Yeah. So, but do you wanna pass this as is, or bring it back for discussion in the committee
Well,
though?
the way that Councillor Putzi just presented his case, we have to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
Because there was some unclarity on a few issues, not a few of the, not issues, but a few of the topics.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we bring it back next committee of the whole. All right, next. Item 8.3.1, report to council biannual attendance.
Pam was busy.
And I think that's you, right?
No, that's better.
That's Pam? No, we don't need- Enter, there we go. Oh, that's Pam, okay. So, are you speaking on this one then, Dennis, or not?
It's just a
It's just
record
for
of attendance.
information?
Yes, and unless there's direction from council, it is, there's no abuse in this chart, it's quite fair.
Yeah, yeah.
For myself, I just wanted to clarify, I don't know if it makes a difference, so January 14, it was work related, I stayed at work for a CAS meeting, and then,
Yes,
Sorry. So when counselors are going to be absent, you don't really need to give me an explanation, but just say it's work or it's, I'm not well.
oh,
or-
okay, okay,
Um,
and the 16 would be sick. I guess I'd have to maybe write that in the email. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think I was looking at my emails and I'm like, I just wrote like, oh wait.
yeah, and I think that's
and the other two in
a
Maine were
takeaway.
That
both
was,
family, those are
that was,
family related.
family related,
So
yeah.
they're all excused, I believe.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I guess the takeaway now is when we say we're gonna be missing it, just at least give a
Simple,
general idea, not
Yeah.
about the reason. All right, anything else you
no,
wanna,
that's everything.
Councillor Loftus,
No,
it's good
just
for
for
information?
No, I looked at my January 21st one and I was coaching, so it was, yeah. But I looked and I stated I wasn't able to make it, but that's all good.
Okay. Councillor Chance?
No, just, I think, I think on here you had Councillor Pudsey absent for the committee of the whole on the 21st, but that's not the one that you were just late for, not the committee of the whole, the committee of adjustment. Yes, that meeting that you.
No, I think I was
Today
the 21st? The 21st of January?
of May.
Oh, of May.
There was the 2 meetings there, and he wasn't.
Oh, okay, I just remember the one that I called him because he wasn't here yet. And that's-
No, I was probably away.
Okay.
Then we had to go and close, remember?
Yeah, I think it was work, yeah.
Yeah. Work.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I was at Detour, then I was in BC, I think, back to back there.
All right, so are you gonna be giving that information to Pam and maybe have her correct the report? All
I
right.
think it's our information that we need to.
Next, item 832, report to council draft procedure bylaw. Tammy, that's yours.
Well, it's actually in the agenda this time. So, so I've provided everybody with a copy of the marked up procedure bylaw. I didn't get any comments from council as to any more suggested changes, so if council is satisfied with the changes that have been made, we can move forward to pass it tonight, hopefully. If there's anything else they'd like to see, let me know and we can add it in.
Okay,
Yeah, everything looks good on,
all right, council Loftus?
No, I'm okay with it.
Council Pate?
Good to go?
Okay, council Chance?
I approve.
All right. So we're gonna be
Defer.
voting on this bylaw later on. Report to council, tender, 2025 result columbarium.
So, you'll see that that was quite a lengthy report because I actually included all of the bid documents. I just thought that it's sometime easier to see the aesthetics of the units that you're looking at. So all in all, I was surprised at the number of bids that we did get, and unfortunately, we got one that came in too late.
It was a better one? Oh, well, don't wanna know.
We won't say. Anyway, so with that being said, Basnet Monuments has come in at the lowest amount. However, in evaluating all of the tender documents, I noticed that both his and Sturgeon Etching were coming in with a niche size of 12 by 12 by 12, which is a little small if you look at some
The urns.
some urns. Because our current one is 12 by 11 and a half by 15 and a half deep, which is plenty deep enough to fit the 2. So I did have a bit of concern with the size of the 12. So knowing that, I did ask Basnet if it was possible to get other pricing for a deeper unit, because he said all of these units they're all custom made anyway. So he did come back with some other pricing, and I still believe he would have come in lower because Sturgeon was quoting on the same size and his numbers were higher. Anyway, my particular recommendation is going with the larger niche of 15 inches deep, so 12 by 12 by 15. It just gives people, I would hate to have sold a unit to somebody for 2 urns and not come time to put the second one in and it's like, oh, they're not gonna fit,
Yeah.
you know? At least with the 15 inches, it gives a bit of wiggle room. I also was preferring the domed style roof. That's my preference. I just think with the rain and the snow and everything, it'll come off a lot easier. So with that, my recommendation was going with the larger 72 niche unit with the largest niche size. So at 49,000 plus the HST, which still comes in well under the amount that I had kind of forecasted at 60,000. And this is also going to include the installation of the pad. Our guys will not be doing the pad on this.
Well, they're doing their own, okay, good. All right, thank you. Any questions, comments, Councillor?
And then for myself,
No?
I'm in agreement with the
All right.
recommendation.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement with the recommendation.
Councillor Pate?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the recommendation, so and that's at 16 inch or 15 inch? 15 inch, yeah, okay.
What, oh, I saw it, I just,
Yeah, so it's a 12 by 12 by 15. It's a 16-inch pitch on the,
Yeah,
On
that's
dome.
any other
Yeah,
questions?
no, that should be, no, it should be good.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Councillor Lachance?
Yeah, I agree with the recommendation.
All right, and so do I, so,
I do have a resolution for that.
all right, can I have a mover and a seconder for the resolution? Councillor Loftus, Councillor Lachance?
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor Lachance, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles awards the contract for the design, supply, and installation of a 72 niche columbarium with a dome top and with the concrete pad to Basnan Monuments in the amount of $49,000 plus HST.
All those in favor? Carried. Next, item 8.3.4, the report to council mid-program review of the 4-day work week. By Denis.
Yes, your worship. When we started the 4-day work week, it was stated that we would come back with a report mid-program. It is, we did have a staff meeting, I don't have the date, about a month ago. And I talked to everyone, asked them for the feedback. And the feedback was, everything seems okay, so I didn't get much details other than there's nobody upset in terms of the program. There's quite a few that are happy with the program. They seem very enthused of having their long weekend, and they seem a bit more energized in their work week. More importantly, I did speak with the Director of Operations, which is the majority of the outside operations, or the outside operations. She had seen no issues with the 4-day program. She was holding back her full comments until we hit the major projects. Because usually when you do a major project, the setup and mobilization is major part. So that's where in the morning it takes, half an hour, 45 minutes to start up. And you eliminate that by eliminating the 5th day. And she said for the efficiency, because part of the review was supposed to put efficiency forward. So she said our real comments will come now. Obviously what they're doing is they're starting the major projects on Victoria Road. So she's keeping track of that. Part of the process too for the final, I will probably ask everyone, make it mandatory to fill out a little survey or a little comment sheet. Happy, not happy, want this, do you feel you were more productive, this impair at home. So far, just from asking, volunteering, coming back, there was nothing negative. Unfortunately, the janitor, custodian cannot participate in this program, nor can the staff at Service Ontario. Unfortunately, both of those job requirements require somebody in attendant being there 5 days a week, or landfill, because the landfill is open and there's a cleaning schedule, which they have to be done on certain rates. So unfortunately, because there doesn't seem to be any ill intent, or not ill intent, that's not the right word,
Feelings?
sour grapes or
Yeah.
hurt feelings. They understand that is the job, but that also will become at the end, because you try to be fair to everyone. The concern that came out of Public Works, well, I would say outside workers, is right now, because one of them is, well, they're all on the 4-day, they're starting on the Monday, ending on the Thursday, only, and with the custodian, regular days being off on Friday, there's no outside staff coverage on the Friday. It has not been an issue. I did talk with the Director of Operation. There has not been overtime incurred. It's the no snow season, so there's no snow on the Fridays. Because it always snows on Fridays and Saturdays, but, so far, other than the, required, daily inspection of the splash pad, which is being completed by office staff. So it's like a pool, if anybody has a pool, well, this is a bit fancier, there's a dial, you just have to make sure that both the,
It's a lot more than just a dial, I'm sorry.
Or are you doing
It's quite,
are you doing the back flushing?
yes.
Okay, well,
We've done flushes, rinses, yeah. The only thing we haven't done is added chemicals, so.
and yeah, and you're forbidden from doing
No,
that.
so,
Yeah,
it's
so.
been working fine.
Chemicals, we can stock up months at a time, not the chlorine, but the acid is only twice a year, we're trying to limit to once a year, because that's the worst one. The chlorine is less dangerous, but it's added. But the Friday was the coverage, so, office, well, anybody can be trying, it's like checking a pool, you check the ORP and pH. 2 numbers have to be in, if it doesn't, you turn it off, it's a simple digital screen. And obviously the back flushing is if there's grass clipping and anything, it clogs the filter and you just back flush it. So that's the Friday. We also have, Friday Univie is closed. Univie, unfortunately our water system that we put in, the UV system is very temperamental, but Univie is not open on the Fridays.
Okay, good.
So it is still of concern, that is probably it's water our issue on the Friday. So far, we haven't had any events, the August tournament, we may have to shift time schedules. Maybe you're not off on the Friday, you're gonna be off on the Monday to meet the August long weekend for prep, because obviously it may require, but usually when it's prepped, the fields are prepped, everything is prepped. You don't require staff in attendance, and then there are special overtime or middle of the night cleaning of the ball fields. So I would say this is a very high overview of the program, that there's nothing wrong. Now we're hoping with the advantages, it was brought up that about the hours. So the office here, we have been producing a hourly schedule that is posted, and everyone is kept to. We can request the changes because it is especially when it goes down to 2 staff, if somebody's on vacation, it's down to 2 on either the Friday or the Monday. We have to be conscious of having always having at least 2 people. So this is the most critical, but it's we don't really get much walk-in traffic, and usually what is the walk-in traffic is it's not an emergency, and any emergency we understand as staff that if I am required a Friday afternoon at 3:30, I am coming in at Friday afternoon at 3:30, because to make this work, it has to be that understood. Knocking on wood, we haven't had to call in anyone. It seems to be, everyone understands that if you book a doctor's appointment, take a personal day, you don't book it on the Friday and the Monday, to respect your coworkers and not to force somebody to shift the schedule. Again, now with the advantage, mentioning about extending hours. We said we were answering phone calls. Unfortunately, it took us a little while to understand that the phone system was set to our open hours. It took, why isn't the phone ringing? We're getting a message, and then it didn't take long. We did fix so now the phone actually rings, and we just don't get a voicemail and call back. So that we do. If somebody has to come in late or early, we open. But it was mentioned last time that we could open longer. Talk to staff, there's no problem. We do like our early time to start the work the day without people, but extending hours as mentioned in the report, 8:30 to close to 5 on the Tuesday and Thursdays. What we don't want to do is right now extend hours for all the time, and then we decide that the 4-day program doesn't work in the fall. So I just wanna, we can expand now and maybe a slow, a soft introduction of extended hours. And then we can go from there, and if we find there's a greater demand, especially during tax season, somebody comes in from work from Sudbury at 5 and wants to stop to the office and pay taxes at 5:20, there's somebody here to take it. It's just, if we want to work in that direction, we're more than ready to have extended hours. Not recommended on the Monday and Fridays, this still doesn't matter, we're here, and if it says we have to open at 8:30 and until 5, there's no problem, even 8 o'clock. It just, there's no traffic, but if we do see a demand or a few here concerns, it's maybe one of those things we can start asking especially the people that travel, one night a week. But again, there's no demand, and we would be more than ready. If somebody calls, can I come in at 5:15 to pay my taxes? They would, for sure. It's not, if we want to start extending hours, like I said, I've discussed it, and we're ready. And I think we've been opening slightly early, but not
As a regular.
not as a regular.
Okay. I know, talking to some of the staff, they said, just my 5 cents, at the beginning it was a little hard, because earlier and later, but after they got used to it, they relished having that extra day off. You have a comment?
Yeah, so to the extending the hours, my only concern is Service Ontario, and that people would have to understand that Service Ontario would still be the 9 to 4:30, because those are her hours. So we couldn't extend for Service Ontario, and that's where you're sometimes going to get the frustrated people coming in, because most of our foot traffic is for Service Ontario.
Yeah. We'd have to put a post it up, Service Ontario only from. Okay, any questions?
To extend the hours, I would see more like half an hour, so it's from 8 to 5:30, right, Tuesday to Thursday?
8:30.
Yeah, so I'm recommending 2
Is
days
it
a week.
8 or 8:30?
I recommend 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry, 8 was,
So, I don't know, I think like you're fresh, you work, I know, I work. When you come in at 8 o'clock, you should be fresh and starting to work. I would extend in the afternoon instead, like half an hour in the afternoon to start maybe, like till 5 o'clock, those 3 days, and that's it. Because you also mentioned like, so at 5 o'clock, you'd have the half an hour to finish up the work and.
If you have somebody that walks in at.
Exactly, yeah,
just
I
might
think
take a-
5 would be the cutoff. It's, yeah, and then there's also, in the possible consideration at the last part, a general start time varies from 7:30 to 8, and then end time is generally from 4:45 to 5:30. I just think it needs to be very like specific, like I think if your hours are from 8 to 4:30, that's, like it shouldn't change or vary like that, right? And if so, like if you need to take vacation or whatever, cause I don't think we should start playing with the hours and, oh, okay, I need to come in at 7 today because I need to leave at 3. Like it should be vacation time that you're using, not making up your own hours. That's how I see it.
Okay, yes,
Sorry, so the reason for that variation there is that there's two staff that are working 8 to 5:30, so they're working 3 9-hour days and 1 8-hour day. So Friday, it's from 8 to 4:30.
8 to 4:30. Yeah.
Whereas there's 2 staff that are working 7:30 to 4:45 every day.
Why is that?
Instead, because they didn't wanna do the 9 and 8. So they wanted an equal amount of time
But that
worked over
wasn't
the
brought
4
up.
days.
Brought forward to us, I think everyone should be at the same.
yeah, so the rationale, and this is, we're trying, this is why we call it a trial program because obviously, so
Because I think what's gonna happen is that people are gonna hear that, and then if you look at
Everyone's
Public
gonna leave.
Works, and, okay, let's do 6 to 4:30, or,
So for the very little in time difference, my rationale, I'm the one that I like 5 equal days because even an extra 15 minute at a long day, just to end early on the 5th day, on the 4th day, I'm already, there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, so I'd rather have 4 equal days for personally. And then the other ones wanted to compress a bit to be off early on the Friday. So that's the variance, but if council says, or in the final policy comes out, we want a standard fix, for the 15-20 minutes variation, like 4:45 or 5 o'clock, doesn't matter for me, starting at 7:30 or 7:45 to have a fixed 5 days, that's easy enough.
In my mind, as long as it's not, oh, this week it's gonna be there, that week it's gonna be, I want this, like,
So from the start.
once it's selected by an individual, it should,
So
that
from-
is the hours.
So
yeah.
from the start, all staff have stuck to the same hours. There's no, apart from like when there's a meeting night, obviously I'm staying later, so I start later. But again, this is the, if we want fixed or, and it was during the unopened time, so, again, it was a trial. The benefits, for the few, if it's a preference at this point, if council wants it fixed, so there's no somebody saying, I want to, have a 5:45 start to be off at 4:30 every day. Because obviously, what's not negotiable in any circumstance is when we're open to the public. So even if we adopt a 5 o'clock opening, I would have to start later to finish at 5. So if we do that, then everybody will have to adopt the open hours. So everyone's here during open hours, because that was never a negotiation. You can't say, I'll start at 9:30 start to finish at 6. That was
No,
not part of the deal.
okay,
So if there's consideration of abuse, I can show you the schedule from the start. They've all been fixed.
okay,
So if if the policy ends up being, it has to be a fixed 4 days of equal amount of hours, it's like for the 15-20 minutes that it will impact, we would pick a whatever 7:30 to 5. I think that would work out, or 7:45 to 5. Can't remember the numbers would be calculated.
yeah. Okay,
I think right now it's a trial, if you guys wanna do that, but I think we need to, like, if everyone wants to come in at 7:30 and finish at 5, I don't have a problem with that, but I think everyone should be equal, and it should be stated.
I think everybody
because-
starts at the same time?
No,
No?
like, I'm in the office at 7:30, and then, two staff at 7:30 and 2 staff at 8. And then 2 staff leave at 4:45 and 2 staff leave at 5:30. So it actually increases even more the day. But we're talking 15 minutes and 40 minutes. It's not the end of the world if we have to, everyone has to, you have to give 15 minutes, you have to give 15 minutes, and we have a fixed
I'm
schedule.
just afraid it's gonna cause, an effect on Public Works and on everyone else, then they're gonna say, oh, we can fix our own hours.
But on the
As long as you
Friday,
do an
though,
8-hour.
the 7:30 to 4:45, they don't leave early
Hey,
on
they-
the
they
Friday.
what-
Or
They don't
They-
work Friday.
They don't work, that's
They
right,
work
on their
Yeah.
Thursday, sorry.
Yeah.
They don't leave, they do leave early on the Thursday, and the 8 to 5:30 do not, radius.
Yeah, and I,
15-minute difference per day there, an hour a week.
And I could share to council a sample hourly schedule, and then you can say, look and say, okay, because I find it works well for me, because I'm up at 5 in the morning with the birds. I'd love to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning and be done at 3:30, but I know I have to go till
Yeah.
to at least past the 4:30 mark. And unfortunately, I do have kids at home that still have problems making a bowl of cereal, but they're getting much better now.
Okay,
That's it for
That's it. Councillor Loftus.
No, I think that if everyone's happy, but I would like to see a report, at the end of it, like who's doing like what hours, like each individual, what type of hours, and then maybe like if you could do a survey with your staff, you know, you could just maybe just say they're happy or they're not, but I mean, you as a CAO, maybe have a survey to see if the departments are happy, or if there's changes that they can make, but, I mean, I think leaving 15 minutes earlier, I think if it's an agreement amongst staff, basically they're here full days, 8:30 to 5, and then there's one here, like the one here that they're starting, like 7:30, I'm sorry, 7:30 in the morning, I would be very surprised if you had one person walk in before 8:30. You'd be here doing nothing, or doing your paperwork, so I would like to see the start time stay around 8:30, like same as say Service Ontario, and they can leave a little bit later. Like to make up their hours, so 8:30 to 5 to me is good.
So you would like everybody to stay with that, or just the hours of opening?
Well, the hours
Has
of
to be
opening,
8
but
to
you need to
5:30.
have staff here
And then
to,
8 to 4:30.
8 to 5:30, you mean?
eh,
8 to 5:30?
I think she's talking about open to the public hours.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, open up to the public, like from, if you're here from 8:30 to 5, I mean, people go on holidays, they'll come in and get their license or whatever they have to do on their holidays. They're not gonna rush back from Sudbury just to come here. They could stop in Sudbury and get it if they really needed something.
No, they're gonna come here.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the
We can't.
Service Ontario.
Yeah,
we're
like
talking about
I don't wanna see an
Yeah.
extension.
Yeah, that's it, it's, if they come here, we're talking about paying their taxes.
I mean,
And they can't do that in Sudbury.
no. But I think 8:30 to 5 is
Yeah.
good.
Alright. Councillor Putzi.
Yeah, I think, I think Councillor Strauss would probably agree with me, you can appreciate the earlier start times, and the earlier ends to the day. Cause right now the work hours are 8:30 or 8 to 5:30, and then 8 to 4:30 for
Monday and
service,
Friday.
or Monday and Friday, yeah, right? That's what general work hours, cause, obviously there are some little bit of leniency. Now, in saying that, like, I'm not opposed to it being 7:30 to 4:30, cause honestly, it goes the same way. It goes without saying that you're gonna get more work done earlier in the day. Like, at my work, I literally have a hour block where nobody can schedule meetings, so I can get paperwork done in first thing in the morning. So it definitely, you know, and then that half hour at the end of the day, after, like, or hour, I guess right now, cause right now it's closed at 4:30, that hour is just like closing time essentially. Like, if you close at 4:30 and you're done, you're done and you walk out, like, unless there's other things that you need to finish up, but I don't know, I think having that time before is almost more beneficial, cause by the end of the day, you're getting a little bit, I don't wanna say, office cranky, or you getting a little sore, or, you know, after being in the office all day, you know, your productivity kinda usually ends to trail off possibly.
Yeah.
I see it, myself there, so just, yeah, I don't know if that's, and that's where a survey could come into play and could definitely benefit, in that regard, right? Cause the, Public Works is, they're working 6 to 4:30, I think it is.
7 to 5:30.
7 to 5:30, yeah, and again, that's another area where it, you know, maybe that could be discussed as well, so I don't know. It's one of those things, right? Some people don't like early starts, but some people prefer early starts, so what's more beneficial across the board, and is it acceptable or unacceptable, like, yeah. I think that just needs to be kind of condensed into a little survey and what can be done out of that, and, yeah, cause everybody wants to be
Do you
kept
have a
happy.
problem about having different start times and end times for different staff?
As long as it's, I think as long as it's,
15,
there's
20 minutes,
some kind of documentation or reasoning behind it, yeah, I don't think, cause as long as they're there for the hours that they're open to the public, they're there for the hours that they're open to the public, but it's just, you don't wanna have too much variation, cause then if you allow variation, everybody else should be permitted to have that same variation, right?
In my mind, it's, there is, however, I'll give an example. My daughter works with NASM, okay, secretarial. She has one day work from home. She's got other secretarial staff that work 3 days from home.
Yeah.
And like, still in the same department. So, I don't know, they've got variation. It's the way it works, I don't know, their responsibilities vary a little bit maybe.
Yeah,
But, and the same thing for the managers, they can work from home or come in. It's up to them.
yeah,
It's really, they'll call, today I'm not in, and I'm working from home. And then everybody adjusts to the news. So I think giving that leeway of 15 minutes, 20 minutes compared to other organizations, I think is minimal in my view.
yeah.
Any other?
Yeah, I understand like finishing at 5:30 or 5 is definitely, gets a little bit rough on that.
Because some people are early birds, some people
Yeah,
don't like getting up early.
and just anytime you're finishing at 5 or 5:30, you're not getting home till 6.
Yeah.
So it's, for the most part there, that the night is, done.
Yeah. Councillor Deschamps?
Yeah, I speak, the only difference I see between this and like your career, for example, is this is public service.
Yeah.
And we're still, like, I'm not saying that we don't want our staff to be happy, but we still need to look out for the benefit of the taxpayer, and in my opinion, the more minutes that door is open and the public can walk in is the better service that we're providing to our taxpayers. So for me, if Staggership or the way it's working out right now, if the doors are able to be open, I know it's not, probably not open at 7:30, but you're opening at 8 and you're open till 5:30, well, to me that's more benefit for, we do have a lot of people, not everyone's retired, a lot of people still do work
Yeah.
out of town and do have to travel for work, and you're getting home at 5:30, it'd be nice, you can slip in for 2 minutes to pay whatever you have to pay. It's not Service Ontario related, I do agree, you can stop elsewhere or do it online, but for the municipal stuff that you have to come in and do, I got caught here like maybe a month ago, when the doors are closed, and I was under the understanding the doors are open till 5:30 at this point because of the new hours of work and the 4-day work week, but I learned the lesson that the offices were closed, so I was like, oh, okay, my bad. But they were still nice enough to let me conduct my business, but I feel like it's more beneficial to the ratepayers if it's open more hours.
All right.
Within their scheduled time.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you for the report. We're anxious to see at the end how it's gonna,
Yeah, so the follow-up report will probably be in September.
September.
And I noted clearly the hours, so we'll have more details on the hours, and then council can make, and then we will try to work for the full extended hours from now till what's reasonable.
Okay,
Would it be too much to ask that you track how many people you serve? Like, say if you open the door at 7, how many people you're serving earlier and how many people you're serving after the 5 o'clock mark? Like, would that be unreasonable to ask?
It would have to be announced too, right? People are not aware.
Yeah, right now they're not aware.
yeah, we'd have to at least post it on the website, maybe on the, little bulletin through the library. A little blurb there,
Yeah,
so,
we're too late for August, I think it closes on the middle of the month.
yeah.
So are we still talking like being open 8 to 5:30, just the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Or
Well,
where Friday could be a problem because we've
yeah,
got,
Friday,
No.
I think
wouldn't-
Tuesday, Wednesday,
I'm not
Thursday.
worried with Friday.
Yeah, just the middle of
Monday
it.
on the Friday, or,
yeah,
so it's just Tuesday,
Anything.
Wednesday, Thursday, when
Tuesday,
all
Wednesday,
staff
Thursday.
available.
Yeah, I think so.
Just those 3 days. Even if it was just 2 to 3, like, as long as there's an opportunity for people that
To see.
are, cause they shouldn't have to leave work early and lose out on their earnings or their wages to have to come here and pay, you know what I mean? It should be even a little bit more available. I'm not saying we have to be open 24/7, but do what we can.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. You got it? Okay, next item, 835, school lease update by Denny.
Okay, so there was some, yes, your worship, sorry. Thank you. There was a notice from Alphand Partage that they were dropping another room or not giving notice that in September they will not be leasing the, I can't remember, room 2 or something there. So I did a bit of a budget, what that would look like. These are the current rates. These are not the. These will be the treasurer gave me the updated rates. So the new cost per unit per room per year is $43.49.21, which will be the new rate for the tenants starting January 1st, 2026, because we're a year lag. That's the way we do it there. And then so the breakdown would come down. The library occupies 3.5 units. Half unit is basically the storage room, one of the storage rooms. 3 units being the 3 main occupancy. Our cost is $15,222. We maintain a storage unit there, which because as we're moving to paperless and more efficiency, that room is getting closer and closer to being empty and not being required. We can even, because the nature of the documents going in there are all to be disposed of, they can actually be stored.
There's some historic stuff in there.
They're not, we have to declare them as historic. They could be stored off-site into like storage rooms in the arena is an example. You wouldn't want to store historical documents there though, but if it's documents to be shredded in 5 years.
Yeah.
So anyways, just saying we have that room, and to be fair to all the tenants, we included that in that rate calculation. Now Alphand Partage will have the equivalent of 2 rooms, which is the old library for the people that attended that school. It's a double classroom in one, which is basically a library. So that's why they get a 2-unit knock on that one because of the floors. I went per unit, but they're equivalent in floor space of 2 units. So their rent would be $8,698. Our Children, Our Future is the other tenant at 43. We would have a revenue of $13,047.63. The library and municipal storage would cost us being our share of the rent, cleaning and elevator repairs, $17,396, and the 4 empty units would come at a loss to the sort of loss lead. What is not in this report is I did reach out to Madame Jeannette there, Messicotte there with the, she forwarded a call to Michel Seguin, which of the school board. I had a discussion with him, and I was telling him our predicament of finding stable long-term tenants. And he understands he's not the only unit. I did talk about the options we were considering. He did, and I told him, like, could we rent just half the rooms and the ones that are empty not pay for them? He said that is something that if we say it, they can't say no to it. So obviously if our intent is to rent like, 5 rooms, but 3 for the library, 4 for the library and us, 2, 3 units, so that would be 8 of the 11. Anyways, the 4 rooms we can drop from the rent and negotiate a rent lease without those 4 empty rooms. We have to do that. That's the minimum. It's the most reasonable, instead of trying to look for tenants that have not come forward. And if ever in the future we find a tenant, then we can also negotiate with the school. The side notice with this is as soon as there's vacant space, it triggers pressure on the school to find a use for those rooms. I did ask him, does the school need extra rooms? He said, from his point of view, it did not require additional rooms. They don't have enough students. That is just from him, though. I don't know if there's higher ups or different departments. He wasn't aware of any requirements of additional room. So they would be forced to trigger to look elsewhere for other partners. I did bring up the fact of an English school is been talked about. He didn't want to expand more because it is not his department, but he did say that that school board shares space in 4 different communities with an English board school. They're all north line 144, and I think Espanola, was it Espanola?
I think so.
Espanola was one, and I think the other one was Chaco and another little town together, little town. So it is not unheard of. Actually, it is, they have 4 where they share the rooms with English. He, and I did mention roughly 80 students go to Mark State that are English that could well be here. His quick calculation, and again, I'm just repeating it off the comment, he said they would probably require around 8 rooms to operate for those 80 kids. That being said, obviously, we have a math issue if we go there, because the rooms we rent plus 8 is more than the rooms that are available. But that's just for father right now, because right now, the easy recommendation that I have for a council after that discussion is that we give notice that we do not want to rent those 4 empty rooms. But the question is to council, now do we drop the person that only wants to rent that one day, or do we keep an extra room to accommodate one-off rentals or 25-day rental? Remember, we just set a rate for this council, and just drop 3 rooms and keep 1 to accommodate, or just we only long-term, only what's rented, and then the only cost to the municipality would be that second column of
Library and.
Our storage and the library, which is 17,000. The revenue of 13,000 would be received and paid that portion of the lease and expenses. So it's still a significant amount considering that we have, like, not that we have, we could potentially fit in some other rooms that we have, but unless we renovate somewhere, like, it's not something that's going to happen today or tomorrow or next year. Unfortunately, none of those are cheap. So anyways, it's a straightforward recommendation, and unfortunately that came after I prepared this before going on vacation, so I only got the information 2 days ago. So, but it was significant enough that my recommendation, I would forego the options here, unless council is ready to play and push for the English board and just drop it and force the school board to start talking about it with partners. And I'm sure the English board, which I know the mayor has been trying to contact the, not consortium,
The
coalition.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, they've gone silent on me, so now, basically, and I was hoping to get a feedback from them, maybe saying, okay, these are the steps maybe recommending to follow, but after the first call, I've sent 2 emails and basically no response. I don't know if they're off for the summer now, I'm sure, but yeah, I'm very much encouraged hearing that there is something that does exist. I knew about the one in Espanola, but not necessarily of the other ones. So anyhow, I'll let everybody give their word, but I think we should keep pushing. The next step would be, in my mind, talking to them directly, but I think they're all gone for the summer. Or is staff still there?
For the school board?
Yeah?
I think that's it, right, for this week, and then they don't start till August 18th.
Yeah, I know Michel Seguin is the building, but everyone
Yeah.
has vacation and, go. And again, in discussion with the mayors, as we were waiting for the response from them before approaching the English board, because I don't know if there's a protocol. I haven't heard back if we have a delegation, at the AMO. If we do, I do believe that contacting the English board before we approach the minister, it would be proper protocol.
Yeah, me too.
Even as an introduction, are you interested? They might say, no, never, or we're just waiting for space to, because I'm sure they see the numbers in being bussed out of St. Charles, and St. Charles being somewhere around 80% declaring as Catholic, there would be a demand. It's not, it makes so much sense on paper and in building size, and for us to continue renting empty rooms,
Yeah.
does not.
All right. Questions or comments?
So we don't have to give notice till, or I guess it's to September 30th?
Yeah, the intent, the letter states, state your intention by 30th, and again, the intention could be, yeah, we're gonna continue, like, again, it's easily, we wanna drop 4. This is my recommendation now. Or if council wants to be a bit more aggressive and just say, here's the keys and walk away, but that's not what we're doing this September.
I just like to see if we can at least get a hold of the English board and see before, if we can, but like you said, I think it won't be till the end of August, beginning of September, right? So
Yeah,
like
that's what I feel also.
close, but if we can bring this back forward in September to see and make a decision then, I'm just curious, I'd like to
Move
get,
on.
yeah, more information and see. Just so upon Potage, the letter, she needs to fix her year. It's
Yeah, I saw that.
2023. Just an FYI. But
Okay,
yeah, just.
so you're in agreement to send at least minimum the letters saying we're dropping the 4 classes that are empty?
Well, I'd like to hear from the English board first before we make a decision, if we
Okay.
can.
Even
And
above
I
the-
am agreeing, yeah, I am
Even
in
above the
agreement.
4 empty classes?
Yes, I am in agreement with that too.
Okay. All right. Councillor Loftus?
I would like to see the library stay with the school because it is it's an asset for the school. But I would like to see the municipality drop all of the leases except we could lease for our library through the school board. And as far as these other organizations, they could deal with the school board. That way we don't have to pay for our guy to go in and clean all these rooms and the elevator. It would be part of the school. So we'd be saving money where we just have our janitor go clean, I guess, our school, our library. And as far as the hallway and the elevator, the school would be responsible for that. So I think we could do some savings there by letting the school take responsibility for their upstairs, and we will pay the rent for the 3.5 units for our library.
Okay. Councillor Pelletier?
Yeah, I was trying to look real quick to see what other school board it was, like you'd mentioned in Espanola, it's, I think it's with Rainbow District School Board that, CSNO shares the school with, so.
And again, it was a phone conversation.
Yeah.
He ran off the 3-4 communities. I think it was Chapleau, the other one, and another little town up north, and the other one is possibly
Yeah.
on the 17 side.
And I mean, that's a quick conversation, and, yeah, it was Community Schools Alliance.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we should continue pursuing that. I'm just trying to think of the layout of the building or the upstairs.
There's a diagram.
Yeah, but she mentioned that they were dropping room 203. But is that not at the end that the school currently has? If I'm not,
So the school.
because
only
the
has-
library's in 216, 17,
The
18.
school only has 226.
So if I can just,
Oh yeah, the wall's right there. Okay.
The school only has 226.
there's a
The
slight,
check marks were,
That's my
there's a
response.
slight issue with the room, so.
okay.
The wall is right there, you see,
So,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
have
I see that now,
we
yeah.
have 202 little storage there, and then 226. picnics or whatever?
So if you've been upstairs at the end of the hallway, on your right, Mrs. Mattier's office and boardroom they were using, and that's all that was in there. One desk in her office and a big table as the boardroom. That's the room they're giving up. And obviously, being that it's just a table and a desk, I think they can easily, they came to the realization it's easier to accommodate in the major room. Because I think they did lose some services that went to
But yeah,
Buddy Eye. So I guess they shrunk a bit, and there was no need for a full office there. So that would, and just a side note that's not mentioned here, in room 204 between ADFO, there's the pod from DSAB, but then we would just say to the schools, like, it's a community service if you want it. If not, maybe we can fit that in the library.
yeah.
Because that's all it is. If people go to the library to access the computer, it's just another computer. And the pod was meant to soundproof, but somebody didn't read the fine print. It's not, unfortunately, because it's a great service for somebody that wants to do something in private, but that could be easily entertained in the library, and also encourage the library. Oh, and I did want to mention, I did have a side note with the mayor, is if we could ever partner with an English board and a French board, we can also be the third partner and run the library. So the library could now become a true English and French supporting those two schools and the community. So when we talk about the library and maintaining it there is a place for us potentially, if ever we could get an English board on and say, hey, we'll maintain the library, and then you can work with both school boards on their demands.
Would we, because just hearing that the need of the classes is greater than the classes that are available
I would go up to grade 6, to be honest. Kindergarten to grade 6.
for the,
Because
but
all the kids, they can go to 7 and 8 high school, like,
yeah.
in the English setting.
But do we need 3 classes for the library?
It can be
I know-
moved to 205, realistically.
The old library?
Well,
The old library was the equivalent of 2 rooms.
3, 2, and 4.
And unfortunately, our library is the equivalent of 3 rooms,
yeah,
which I'm sure the circulation could be reduced, but then that would be, if, as we progress, we can discuss and
yeah.
to make things happen as we drop that third section.
Okay, that's future discussions, okay. Where were we?
I think I was still.
You were still at
more
it?
questions. Yeah. I don't know. I think we need to have a real look at getting another school board in there. Still, we need to keep pushing that. As far as returning the expense to the school board, maybe if we do that, it'll entice them more to actually entertain the thought of having another school board in there. And I think, like, I don't know, there's a lot of the smaller rooms. I think, like, even those, like the storage, those, like, there's a lot of modifications that can be done to accommodate another school board. So I think that's definitely something that can be done.
Okay, avant partage, would it, as Councillor Loftus just stated, maybe we should return that responsibility to the school board. I don't know if that's a discussion did you have a discussion on that matter with them? Like, removing us from being like third-party negotiator?
What was I was told is that they would be forced to look at other partners, and those are other partners. I think the intent originally was for the municipality to be, hey, there's no empty space in this school, do not close this school.
Yeah,
There's no such intention anymore. It was quite loud and clear. There is, for rural schools, is to maintain them. And unfortunately, like most of the kids are just going out of town. It's just
Yeah.
try to accommodate, because that will keep the school here.
yeah, exactly. So, but there was never a discussion
Not
about,
specific to Alpha, but specific to looking for partners.
okay,
I think regardless, that can be mentioned in the discussion, if they'd be willing to transition that rental to their own, yeah.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
and before September, that,
Yeah.
I can actually float that idea and come back with their
Yeah,
response.
okay, that would be nice. Anything else?
No, I think, I mean, we can try to get in contact with Rainbow District School Boards or any other,
They would have to be Catholic,
yeah, well, that's who the,
English Catholic.
in Rainbow District it isn't though.
No, it's
But if that's who's in the school with CSANO and Espanola, I'd confirm what the other school board is, cause it,
Yeah, they won't,
I know but it's just if that's what it is in another,
So
Yeah.
the school, it's one school, they have the same secretary for both boards, and they share the same gym. My wife taught there for years.
yeah, that's right, yeah, you mentioned that, yeah. And was it Rainbow District, do you remember? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's English.
yeah, so that
Yeah.
opens up even more if
yeah,
It's
they
already
won't, they
existing.
won't open a school here, cause Mark's Day is
Yeah.
their feeder school in
Oh.
Winnefield, so we have to go English Catholic.
Yeah, but
That's the only option.
Okay.
but Mark's Day, where you're taking those
Yeah,
80 kids
They
from
won't.
is English Catholic.
No,
No? I'm pretty- isn't
I
that-
think,
Rainbow in Mark's Day,
It's
it's
Rainbow?
public English.
yeah, that would be from
Yeah,
public.
and, English Catholic closed.
And the-
Exactly, yes.
Same
Same.
marks, okay.
we'll just move them here.
Any comments?
No, I know, having English school here is important to all of us. I like Councillor Loftus, his idea, which is saying we're gonna take care of our library and just take care of the rest. The only thing I could see is if they say, okay, well then, take your library out, we need to have a backup plan for where to put it. Cause that could be one of their replies to the table, your library can vacate too then, so.
I don't think anything's gonna happen
Y-
like
y-
short, like 2 months sort of a span, I think.
Yeah, no, and you can always play, politically, political pressure, because
The school
they,
will do it.
unless they find a tenant that will rent the entire school and kick us out, they will not. Politically, you would have to say to the minister, because they have a mandate to have full schools,
Mhm.
and not wasted space. And we, municipalities are recognized as a partner, so unless they get another school board and kick us out,
Yeah,
which it would be the risk, and yes, but for renting to a private company or anyone else I can't see
That would, yeah.
politically that being feasible for them.
Okay.
So you can still flex that,
I kinda like where Councillor Loftus is going with that anyways, and I still do think we need to push forward with trying to maintain another, an English school in the
Yep.
municipality, but, just, we'll take care of the library and you can have the maintenance fees for everything else. And by the way, here are some tenants that are willing to rent some rooms from you.
okay,
Yeah,
anything else?
Alpha, is it just here that they have one? Cause I know, Okoff are everywhere, like ABV, like, so with,
I think
Alpha, is
it's,
it just St. Charles that
I
has
think
an
it's,
office?
I think it's just St. Charles, but they were thinking of, I heard anyhow.
yeah, they were
Potential.
potentially branching out in Warren, trying to fill empty rooms there. But I haven't heard if they rented, and it would backfire in the school, because like if they leave here, go there, it's like they're seeing the results now. But I think really it's because they did lose the contract for the pre-employment, was it pre-employment that disappeared? So the training for the unskilled worker, that went to Bariad, so they lost their van, they lost all the transportation flows and that contract. Now they just have whatever Alpha does there, the final, getting your degree, your GED, and getting up a few post-secondary credits. That is just what it's left.
And
Okay.
our children, our future, they're only open one day a week now, eh?
Cause there's one in front, it's the same staff that
So
works.
I
for
could,
Rivers
I
and
could
Friends and
actually
works in
see
Warren.
that potentially closing where we'd lose more money because of the distance between Marks Day Warren and Noelville, because there's no participants here.
Every minute, there's.
Well, there,
Still, it just, the issue is every municipality keeps taking the same programs on.
yeah,
And the
Yeah.
same programs, they branch out to every small municipality, have each instead of saying, You guys can have OPA,
That's
we'll
right.
have UNIV.
Yeah,
You guys do an alpha, instead of sharing and each
Yeah.
having one, we're all, again, it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
we're fighting each other.
That's
It
true.
doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense to
It's
do,
true.
it's a waste of money too, and time, but
yeah,
that's what we do.
okay.
you've got the direction now, you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm
back
gonna
with,
pursue and,
all right?
we'll come back in September with the answers to the contact with the English board, the contact with the French Catholic on the possibility of, here's the name and number.
Okay, perfect, thank you. All right, next report, 836, municipal logo, next steps. Denis?
Yes, and this is stemming from, I just don't wanna let the idea die, it was put forward, there's some money in the budget. Council had ruled out a local contest because of potential. Picking a design that may not be the professional design. The consultant that we utilized for the strategic plan did put a proposal forward, and the alternate option is using an online service. Googling, it seems that 99 Design is one of 2 or 3 of the most commonly used sites where you put up a fee, and then you get proposals, and then you pick the one that comes up and you work with them, and then you acquire the rights. So you would still have professional putting up, and then you don't have to pay if you don't take, my understanding.
Was this the one that, for the dental hygienist?
Yes.
Okay.
99 Design is who they use.
Yeah, and so that's why it was a bit of a, so anyways, this report was prompted because after receiving the one from Jones Consulting, Karen Jones, and with the, I'm gonna put my glasses because that looks like $4,000, yeah, it is
Yeah.
$4,000. To design, professionally design, obviously, if it's done by a local or in person, you get more interaction with them. They already have a feel for the community. Unfortunately, the cost is significant compared to working with an online option. And again, it's just in front of council to see if we want to move forward with one or the other, or keep on discussing it.
Just so that everybody's also aware, Marks de Warren did theirs through 99 Design.
I think there's a big difference.
Huh?
I think option 1, our budget is 5,000, and if we wanna, if we're just gonna use 4,000 to do a design and then not have money to
Yeah.
change our logos and our stickers and our, I'm more with option 2.
Okay. Councilor Loftus?
Yeah, like you can look for grants and stuff like that, but if you wanna proceed with this, like, I'm fine with the logo, I don't like, I mean, I don't, our logo to me is fine. But if people wanna change it, so be it, but I mean, I'm basically going with the 450, I'm not going with no 4,000, just to develop a logo.
Okay. Councilor Patsy?
Yeah, I'm just looking a little bit more at the 99 sign, so they give you a lot of different package options, I guess, is what the,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then pick the
result is-
smallest
yeah.
and most, they don't have a tagline or,
yeah. I think, I don't know, I'm just trying to think we could set an upset limit to this, of $1,000 possibly, cause obviously, yeah, they say they have flexible pricing, but do they come back to us with, you know, it says one custom logo design, do they come back to us with options, what, like, I don't know, have you looked into it a little bit?
I have a little bit, have you?
yes, but.
Okay, no, go ahead.
So.
I wanna hear your version, then I can throw in my 5 cents.
My version, you put your proposal forward, and then you will get at random people online giving you proposal, this is what we propose, and with a sample. And then once you get those samples, it'll be like this guy, this design, then you pick that one and you move forward.
Yeah.
If you put $450 on the table, you might get the 13-year-old putting a proposal forward. That may look nice, but you may not get the seasoned veteran, 25-year-old with a knowledge of, okay, this will sell T-shirts, and this is what you need to do. So, and I think the package itself is, the more you spend, the more quality you get, and you may get more people wanting to put designs forward. And that's how I understand, it's like, it's almost like a contest you're doing online, and they will just draft up something, put it forward, and then work with you, because $450, I don't think we can expect many hours of back and forth, and then if you want more, that's where it might be wise to put $1,000, because if you work with somebody and says, well, no, if you want more, you have to pay more.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what I'd be in favor in, and even just looking at the different packages, like you're getting either a custom logo, or you're getting copyright ownership and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of different aspects that play into it. So I think I'd be in favor of setting an upset limit, and I think an upset limit of 1,000 should be able to get us there.
Okay. Councilor Chance?
Yeah, I agree. Upset limit up to $1,000, like this logo design's $409, so it's, even if you do get your logo design that you want off the hop, you can also have, then look at the business cards, they're $229, or sure that bundle packages too, but yeah, logo, social media, I guess, I don't know. Up to $1,000, I would say, and I would definitely pick that option, $4,000 to have just, the bulb seems expensive.
Okay. Would you be comfortable with the 1,000
Yes,
upset
yeah.
limit? Okay, so 99 design, upset limit, $1,000.
Okay, we will start the process, hopefully we'll have something by
Okay,
next meeting or early fall.
all right, thank you very much. Next, whoop.
Does council want to send our CAO perhaps suggestions on things that we could give them for?
Oh, input, yeah,
Like
key inputs,
input.
because that's one of the things you have to put, I want a fish, I want a moose, I want, nature, I want, so what you wanna see, because I know like Mark C. Warren is, with that connection of M and W and the stream was always key in there, and whoever came up with design, they came up with the proper design, because they have the M, W, and the stream.
Yeah.
But what does St. Charles stand for, what do you want, I know the old one was like, the old, is there a lion, or I can't remember, there's a farm with a stack of straw, and there's a lake, and serene scene of the moon, I think, coming in, and then you have the formality of the cross, and not the cross, but the lion, something, the symbol in the middle there.
Because of this.
Yeah, the lion and that little cross, a trillion. And I'm sure whoever came up with the design,
Wasn't a profession.
no, it represents St. Charles, the West Arm, which was not part of St. Charles. Well, it was part of St. Charles when you amalgamated. So, because if you ever seen the old one, Casimir Jennings and Appleby,
No?
and I think it was a deer on it, or a deer or moose, it was an animal anyways. The hunting was more of a,
Okay. Does anybody have any recommendations for, like,
I'm just gonna send one that was made a while back. Yeah, it captures a lot of different aspects of the community, and we'll see what. Yeah.
can we send you this information via,
yeah, via
Email?
Via email,
And
because it's not confidential.
it's not confidential, it's not, so we could send you this within the next couple of days to make sure it doesn't. So any comments or suggestions? In my mind, it should be more towards nature.
Simple, like
Farming is
simple.
no longer,
Hunting
key-
is still huge here though.
yeah, yeah, maybe hunting. But is hunting something that's visually attractive? I don't know.
It's outside.
It just has to be a color or
So
something even.
you got the ATV mud run with a moose on the rack of the quad.
Well, that's it. I don't know if it. I'm just looking at lots of the logos that, like, and all of the documentation we receive, they concentrate more on nature or whatever. But in hunting, I've never seen one. I know, that's my comment. But we can send you,
Fishing's a big thing.
any information, maybe,
Yeah.
and you could share it with,
And that runs through the contest.
okay,
Yeah, like fishing's big around here too.
pardon?
Fishing is very
Fishing,
big around
yeah.
here,
That one
yeah.
could be,
Well, they both activities bring in
Yeah.
top 50 tournament, brings in a lot of people, and
Yeah.
hunting season, the back roads themselves
Yeah.
say how many
Okay,
people
well-
come to the municipality for it, so. But what
it
we're
would be
known-
up to them to try and figure out how to.
We're known for ASCAPs now too.
I know about alpacas too.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
So it's an alpaca on the front of the ATV, not a moose.
I just
All
sent,
right.
I just sent the one that was, yeah.
so we'll be sending you others, but,
Yeah,
next, report to council, strategic plan implementation. Again, you're up, Denny.
Yes, your worship, as council remembers, we received a strategic plan, had a whole bunch of lists, and then we put the question out to the consultant to come out with a proposed plan of action. And just to let everyone know, this is just a proposal, this is not part of the public consultation to it. This is leading up to the public consultation. Because we just need to figure out the direction. And the clerk printed off the hard copy of the, what's in your package. So, the consultant summarized the different sectors and the priorities within those sectors. She gave a time frame, and obviously the to-do list is all to do. She gave potential for funding application. So as she was working on this, the RED program, the line that is in red, the Rural Economic Development Fund, just has a new program called ROD, which is the Rural Ontario Development Fund, which is only open to rural parts of Ontario, meaning, for this reason, is it excludes the Horseshoe, Toronto, Hamilton, but it includes most everyone else. It's not a big fund, and there's different programs. She is recommending that so what would be needed by council is to high level agree to the priority of the list, which is a summary of what council discussed. If there's anything to be added, removed, not sure of, council could give direction. The second part of it is what I plan to do for the August meeting is, if council is agreeing with this list, is to prepare the grant applications. Unfortunately, I'm talking with FedNor, but I didn't get the final response from her. So the FedNor here, it was identified that we would split the funding between the RED program, the Rural Economic Development, basically provincial and federal funding, for the Community Development Officer. Seeing that the strategic plan, we received that funding through a program that the CNO, sorry for the acronyms, I can't even tell you what CNO means, but anyways, that's the money we got for the strategic plan. We're not eligible to apply for it again until next year, and that's what I was waiting for the confirmation. Do we have to wait a year from when we receive the money, or their fiscal of March something of 2026? So FedNor right now, the only opportunity open with them is the internship program. The internship program, as we all learn, is you get somebody under 30, unemployed, out of school, looking for work, and they provide $35,000. But right now, what confirmation. I think we can stack that program with the red program and take funding from both and offer a bit more. But unfortunately, because we don't have other forms of funding from FENDOR, we're stuck with it. Sorry, not stuck. We're limited to an intern into the position. You can get somebody out of university that's very bright, very ambitious. They may not just come here for $35,000 a year. So we do need to maybe up or ask or offer. Otherwise, council will have to make the difference if you want to offer more. We could get lucky, somebody local, say Al work for 35 locally, and we just make up the difference. But nowadays, minimum wage is 35 or very close to. Sorry, I didn't do the math on that one. So, but anyways, my proposal to council is, if you agree with the list, I will prepare for August funding application for community development officer. Unfortunately, with the limitation, if we don't want to pay 50% of the wage, if you want to stack, and I still have to confirm, we may have to spend a bit of money to get a true community development officer that's not limited to under 30 and unemployed. You want somebody, because if you want to action off these items, somebody in the office look at you, so what do they do next? No, it's just you tell us what needs to be done, or just do it and get it done. So that is the biggest challenge right now, is the federal funding is limited to, we can't use the CNO until once per year, so
Okay.
we just used it. And NOHFC, I don't foresee any problems. There's not much that was NOHFC. I think it was just the blue, whatever's in blue there, Housing Community Development Officer. It's just funding to host those meetings. So, and again, we have to move, well, not that we have to move forward, we should be moving forward in retaining and moving on, enacting these plans. But I think the first step is getting the funding to get the proper staff, to then, as we discussed, get the public involved, and get somebody specific to tackle this massive trust.
Okay. And you still haven't determined how the percentage that we would have to pay as it.
No
Yeah.
no matter what, if you have federal funding, it is no more than 90%.
That they would be contributing.
And if we can't use FEDNOR funding, you will be limited to 50% of the maximum of 150 on the program. So it could be significant, but as council did mention, community development officer is a priority, and it might start opening up the door with a 50% funding, and that would probably come into play late this year if we're lucky and get grant approval, because there's four opening in the ROD program. So if we're not successful in September, there's one in March opening up, and then one in April. So it could be that, yes, we're doing this, but the funding, if we miss round one, there's round two, there's round three. But if we get it right up, we're ready to go, and maybe we'll just be lucky and get approved. But I'm thinking that would be more of a 2026 consideration, and if we only get 50% of the wage, it is still 50% of a salary, and to retain somebody with not under 30 and not out of school, 35,000 will not cut it, unfortunately. And I will mention to FEDNOR that their limitation of $35,000 for interns is slightly low for rural Ontario. Just traveling from Sudbury requires a car and gas.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, questions, comments?
So you were also asking to see if we should keep the,
Keep the what?
keep this, we can change this, you said, or?
Oh, the priority, remember
Yes, yeah.
when we sat, and if you have a change of heart, this is not a priority, or let's move up, the school is the super
Yeah, I was
important
thinking
priority.
the school and the road improvement plan, to be honest, in front of me in the housing. I just, the housing, I'm not sure at what degree that we can
No.
foresee something coming up.
Yeah.
Just looking at French River, looking at us, I think there's more, the educational part and childcare is, I think, more important, and the road improvement.
Okay. Are you in agreement to go ahead and
Yes, yeah, for
move
this,
ahead with
yes.
the grants and look for?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Councilor Loftus.
Yeah, I'm in agreement to go ahead and try to get as many grants. Like I'm just, like some of these projects, Sawmill Creek, we started, what, 2 years ago? And it's, or a year and a half ago, and it's still not complete. We need to get this completed, hopefully this year. And the pickleball court, like, we got it, the asphalt there, but there's still no lines, so I know these are little details, but we need to start, when you start a job, let's get it finished and then move on to the next, instead of
There's a
having
whole
like,
list, yeah.
so, cause we're dropping, people are saying like, where's the pickleball? You said we're gonna have pickleball in the spring.
No.
It's fall almost and there's no pickleball. So, you know, I like the priority, like, of what we're doing, but we need to get some of these little projects done, and roads are a big thing, schools are a big thing, so we need to start focusing on those, so.
Yeah, I agree. Councilor Putzi.
No, I'm in total agreement with what's been said so far. We have a few ongoing projects that we need to see completed, you know, sooner than later. I know in here, unfortunately, there's a lot of tasks that seem to shift to one person because there isn't a community development officer or a program coordinator. So everything else kind of shifts to one person, I think, in that sense.
But there's, if we assign priorities, like,
Yeah.
just taking the school as a priority, because I think this would change the community.
Yes, it
And
is.
if you say this is what we do, as a priority, and I'll just give 2 updates on the, so, we did retain the environmental, she did do a walkabout. The report went to the, environment, Monday. They have received it, and they know that we want to build for the Sawmill Bay Park. It's moving at a snail slower than the turtle. And for the pickleball court, the unfortunate part is nobody realized we needed an acrylic base to be put on the asphalt before the paint. It dropped the ball. So they're working hard to get the acrylic. So the director of our operation had it called out to CRCS, because it was supposed to be able to source it locally. And she scoured stores and stuff, we couldn't find the paint. But that is what's holding up with that one, is they went to do it last week, and unfortunately with no acrylic, the paint was just soaking through the asphalt, my understanding, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it is one of those,
While we're talking about these little projects, do we have any tender that have been sent for Notre Dame and King Street? Because I know we brought it forward in March and saying that that was priority, and I haven't seen anything.
so the tender is posted on Merck's, last week. Collectively, the director of operation, myself, I left a message with the manager at that office. I know the director of operation also left a lovely message. They're moving faster now, but
I
were
also
not, they were, so the mayor
An email,
also, I don't know what happened in that office. I was being ghosted at a little point, but I will reserve so the tenders are due next week. Tammy will be reaching out to council for a special meeting to approve the results of that tender. And we're just waiting for the results of that, because that work has to start this year. And believe you me, I'm polite sometimes. I left maybe something I shouldn't have left on a recorded mail, but we're collectively upset here. But it's like, we're being ghosted, so. but they're responsive now because unfortunately, I think fortunately after the mayor, myself, and the director of operation hit every extension, I think they got the point. But we're about 4 weeks behind what we should have been adopting the tender
Yep.
last week. So, it is posted on Merck's, and we were told that it was not shopped around, but the local contractors that will be bidding on it were made aware of it. So, and two had intentions of putting bids on, so we're just waiting. So wait till, we will have till next week for a special meeting, because as soon as it closes, we will be requesting a special meeting with council so we can award it as soon as possible. And yes, you're quite right on that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's probably gonna be conditions coming back of, oh, we can't get it done right now, but we'll get to it.
Was EXP part of that? I thought they were supposed to be assisting with the tender process.
Oh, EXP is doing 100% of it.
Okay, that's what, okay.
That's
That's the
where we're
problem.
leaving the
Yeah,
the
ghosting.
messages.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Alright, so, as far as this goes, I mean, I think we've highlighted that there is a need for, either one or two or a hybrid role, like it, yeah, it can go into it as a, intern or, cause what was the limiter there, is it an actual age number that they have to be under 30, or, yeah?
So if you, I can share the links, or it's just FedNor programs, and you will look and internship, so it's under 30, out of university, lives in Northern Ontario, so you can't hire somebody from Toronto.
Yeah.
Moving here counts. But it has to be underemployed, so you're not getting maybe the high hitters, and it's not, they pay up to 90% of the wages, $35,000 grant.
Well, like, can we can apply for it, but if the, cause generally we would get the funding, look for the funding first, and then put out the interviews, or the,
My goal is to get, if I can get everything together, and I'm hoping I can apply for the internship at FedNor and apply for the RIDE program and be able to stack the program, so instead of paying $35,000, I can pay maybe $55,000 and 90% funded,
but that only gets us 1 year, right?
18 months.
18 months. And I'm just saying that this isn't something that's gonna be a one and done deal, this is an ongoing, so like, are we, when we put out this kind of posting, like, do we put it in as intern, or, you know, leave it kind of open-ended, cause if it's somebody that's very fitting for the role, maybe it's worth not taking the funding that limits it to an intern person, right?
Just going with the ROD program,
Yeah,
the ROD program, Rural Ontario Development is 50% funding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if council is winning 50%, but that is only, again, limited.
18 months.
It's 50% or 35%. Isn't that the one that had? the
No,
two
it's 50%
percentages?
of 150, there's 4 different programs, and that's
Yeah.
what I was looking today. And the one we're gonna target is the implementation of the strategic plan, I'm pretty sure that's 50%
Okay.
of 150. There's also a component, if you read the slide deck that I sent, there's also, you can get 35% of upgrading our facilities to encourage economic development.
Yeah,
So if you wanted, an example, you wanna turn the lobby and arena into a full working restaurant to attract people to St. Charles, and we can maybe swing that. With $35,000, we can buy the paint.
It's up to $10,000 to 35% of the capacity. Sorry, I can't remember.
Yeah.
a lot of different, yeah.
Yeah, there's different components, but I think that one is 35% of the capital cost, but there's a max amount, it's not high.
Yeah, and I'm just pointing out, cause I think we should leave the option kind of open, cause maybe we will get a candidate, local, somebody that's very fitting for that role, but they're 35 or 40 or,
Yeah.
you know, so.
That's
yeah.
what I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
objective is.
I think that'd be a good way to go about it.
It's always preferable to get somebody with experience.
Yeah.
Especially some people move from Southern Ontario here and work out of their home, but if you can get those experience, maybe they would come out and start working.
Okay, Councillor Chance?
Yeah, no, I agree with, going after the funding from both avenues and, see what we can get there with our applicants.
Okay, thank you very much. So, green light. Next one, item 841, public health, unapproved minutes, it's for information unless somebody has questions. Information,
For information on that.
all right, thank you very much. Next, we have report to council, for the second quarterly report, Parks and Rec, from Michelle. I think, she frequently leaves her, report stand. Does somebody have any comments? Dennis, are you talking to that one? 'Cause Michelle,
Again,
or is it,
if there's any comments, we can either get
Okay.
the, again, so for council to work, once we move to the new format, next meeting,
yeah,
um,
that, we're not even talking about this.
you're not talking about this, and if you have any questions, it's an email, and if it's a simple clarification, it will be clarified through email. If it's a expanded information, it will come at the following meeting with this is the definition of that.
Yeah, so, we can start today. So if anybody has questions,
No, Dennis answered I had questions about the pickleball and the
okay,
Salmon Blade Park, so they were answered.
okay,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think there should be an ongoing comments. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
okay. Councilor Loftus, you good?
No problem.
Yeah, I was, then there should be an ongoing project section in these, like there isn't really, like there's a key highlights for this quarter, which is like grass maintenance, splash pad opening and stuff, but
Yeah,
I think there should be a, like, I don't know if that could be related, or I can email too, it's just, like, for future reports, it would maybe be nice to have a ongoing projects, that way you'd be like, oh, yeah, alright,
okay,
We're aware of it, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Kind of like that.
yeah,
Nice little color coded,
yeah,
Yeah, that could be a standing report in the staff report, ongoing projects.
yeah.
Because just an example, like we're talking about the Victoria Road upgrade, and it didn't hit our quarterly report, so, and that's why I said, send an email out to council, because by the time it's in the quarterly report, there'll be snow on the ground, because it comes, well,
Yeah.
September, no,
Not
but
quite there, but,
so that's why you got that email, it's just because it wasn't making the quarterly report, but then you can also do it in the staff reporting at regular meetings and color
Yeah.
code in red, green, and
there we go. I
so
like
maybe,
colours.
okay, we'll consider something like that to, unfortunately, it's out of my hands for like the Sawmill Bay Park, and I'm looking at it, and,
Yeah,
and now it's sitting at a desk somewhere in the Ministry of Environment.
there we go. You're good? Councilor Chance, any
No.
okay. Next, item is, 861, quarterly report, building department. Andrea,
Hi everyone.
hi.
Not much to report. 5 new housing starts is good news in the municipality. Also wanted to note we have 26 applications still being looked at. We're at year-to-date 26 applications, but only 18 issued, so that means you'll be seeing some higher numbers in Q3 as well. We did issue, we are going through our short-term rental applications, and have issued 3 permits so far, with another couple another couple of applications coming in that you'll see in future reports, so that program has been going well. And for travel trailer licensing, we have received some applications, but I did make a note to let council know that a lot of the calls or the complaints that we've been receiving for travel trailer use have resulted in either we're applying for our building permit and it happens within a very short period of time, so they don't really need anything as far as travel trailer licensing goes. Or we're also finding that people are using or claiming to be using travel trailers for less than the 14 days that are allowed on properties that are allowed to have them. So we are still running the program, but haven't seen a lot of uptake as far as issuing travel trailer licenses. So I'll open it up to questions.
Okay, any questions?
No, nothing, so, thanks.
Councilor Loftus,
No,
questions?
no questions.
no, that's good, thanks.
Councilor Chance?
How, just curious, the other municipalities, like with the short-term rentals and stuff, how far are you guys there, about the same number-wise, or is it?
For the first year, this is a bit lower than municipality of French River, but they also had 50 operating at the time that we started their licensing program. We had predicted somewhere in the area of 20. So if I feel like it's comparable. 50 were operating, we've probably issued about 25. You were probably in the area of 20 operating. We've issued the 3, but we still have some enforcement that's coming through, so. Yeah, I do also think that we're finding that because of the limitations that we've put on the number of people in the different short-term rentals, that people who were operating are not operating any longer because we are not allowing large groups to stay on properties. So we do feel like the license has controlled the number, so in some cases, there aren't as many staff training for this system that's going to basically tie everything from complaints all the way to putting administrative monetary penalties onto tax bills, so it's a really great system that's gonna tie everything together that we're very excited to implement to help us deal with the number of complaints and also the very elaborate municipal court system that we've implemented. Short-term rentals inspections are ongoing and also enforcement. And we'll be seeing a bylaw coming forward for a review that's gonna be dealing with open spaces and parks and municipal land. You'll be seeing reports in the future about that one. And other than that, I will just open it up to questions from council.
Okay,
I'm
any
good,
questions?
thank you.
No?
No, good report.
Okay,
There was one question, and I haven't had the chance to review the parking bylaw again. There was people that were saying that I guess there was some enforcement being made of people parking on the side of the road on St. Joseph, I believe, the school road, just like going up by, yeah. And it was just a question of why would they be getting told they can't park there on the side of the street on St. Joseph? But I think.
Near the firewall?
No, they were farther past. Actually, was when people were kind of moving into a house there. But yeah, so they were just I haven't had the chance to follow up on looking at the actual bylaw
I don't think.
myself yet. But I don't think there was any restrictions on St. Joseph.
Yeah.
I think the only
It's not
restriction
on the
was-
list of approved parking sites.
Yeah, so in this, if you don't mind, through you, the bylaw in St. Charles was parking was prohibited except where allowed.
Yeah.
So there are areas where parking is allowed that are listed in one of the schedules. If this is an area that parking is not allowed, but traditionally was, it could be reviewed to see if there's an issue with it. We did have that oversight where one portion of King Street wasn't included in the prohibited, or in the allowed list.
Yeah.
I'd have to see, I don't know anything about a specific complaint in the area, but I could look into it and get you more
Okay.
information.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And that was it. Thanks for the report.
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead.
No
Positions.
questions, thanks for the report.
Yeah, for that Saint Joseph thing, I've heard of one person in particular that said when he has guests over, he's got a small driveway, they have no place to go, so they park on the road. Which, in my mind, is not like it's a residential area, it's not that bad, but it's having vehicles parked there like all season, or trailers parked there all season. That becomes more problematic in my eyes.
I was gonna say that we will have a new road design for Saint Joseph
Yeah.
that does not have designated parking spaces. So there might be curbs, on one side will be the sidewalk adjacent to the road, so there'll be no parking. And
Okay.
so we
I think
may,
it's in-
before we look at parking on Saint Joseph, we should I'll share the design with bylaw to see if the road itself will not have a parking lane.
Okay.
I remember the design, we left parking in front of the fire hall, and the rest had nothing, right? In front of the store and the fire hall, you were able to park there, but that was it.
Thank you, yeah, there are fire routes incorporated in areas of no parking, so, but I'll just clarify, I'm not necessarily thinking that this is an oversight. If there is a reason why we chose no parking on Saint Joseph, I'll provide that reason.
Yeah, but if you're saying that there might be parking in front of the fire hall,
Yes, we have designated parking, but
Okay.
I was going to.
change about afterwards?
No, I actually recommend that be reserved for the fire department, like it would be authorized personnel only,
Okay.
fire department.
All right,
Because that was in the intention of, you get there, you park.
and then you can, okay, get in the vehicle. All right. Thank you very much, Andrea. Next item, 8.8.1, report to council quarterly report, public works. Okay. Anybody have questions or comments on this one?
Just under the key highlights, the asset listed and sold, just wondering if that can be shared, how much they sold the Western Star and the Ford 550.
Okay. Anything else?
And just, yeah, how much and where is the money being allocated to?
Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing.
all right. Councilor Patsy?
No, for information only. My only question was tender for Village Roads status, but
Yeah.
that's been answered.
Okay. Councilor Chance?
No, just, I was gonna ask how the new, dump truck is handling, but no issues so far, I don't think with it, so.
Okay.
No, only the backhoe is, the
And
the bushing and housing are shot, so unfortunately, the food bank was made aware that we can't unload with the forks now because the quick connect is also failed, so that is a report, next meeting, there will be a cost overrun for the backhoe.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. We are now on to bylaws, and the first, can I have a mover and the seconder for the first and second reading? This one is for our procedural bylaw. Councilor Loftus and Councilor Deschamps.
Moved by Councillor Loftus and seconded by Councillor LaChance, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives first and second reading to the following bylaw. Bylaw 2025-33, being a bylaw to govern the proceedings of municipal council and committee meetings of the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles, and repeal bylaw 2018-46.
All those in favor? Carried. Can I have a mover and a seconder for the third and final reading? Councilor Framboise, Councilor Potier.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Putzier, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2025-33.
Okay, any questions? Final
None for
plan?
myself.
No? All those in favor? Carried. Next, the confirmation bylaw, mover and a seconder for confirmation bylaw. Councilor Potier, Councilor Deschamps.
Moved by Councillor Potier and seconded by Councillor LaChance, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives first and second reading to the following bylaw. Bylaw 2025-34, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its regular meeting of council held July 16th, 2025.
All those in favor? Carried. For a third and final reading of the confirmation bylaw, Councilor Laframboise and Councilor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor Laframboise and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved, the Council for the Corporation of the Municipality of St. Charles hereby gives third reading to and finally passes bylaw 2025-34.
All those in favor? Carried. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn? Councilor Lachance and Councilor Loftus.
Moved by Councillor LaChance and seconded by Councillor Loftus, be it resolved that the regular meeting of council of July 16, 2025 be adjourned at 9:09 p.m.
All those in favor? Carried.